This guy? He's our main character. He was transported to a cultivation world, but instead of grinding from level 1, this dude accidentally maxed out all his stats from the very beginning. With just a single mid-tier skill, he split the entire sky in two. Even his summoned beast is a level 999 god-tier demon, capable of total annihilation, wiping out an entire continent in just a few moves. Alright, no more long introductions. Let's get started. The story is set, and your admin has brought you the next chapter. Hope you enjoy the show. Our story begins in the city of Seahai, atop the expulsion platform of the Wuji Sect. The scene opens with a blood-curdling scream. Are you insane? Two beautiful girls, their tempers as fiery as they are lovely, are causing a huge scene on the expulsion platform. Did you grow a spine overnight? How dare you mess with me? Sister, this bastard is just toying with us. Our protagonist appears, looking completely unfazed by the world. He replies flatly, my apologies, but the two of you are not suitable. My standard for disciples is that they must be the absolute worst. The green-haired girl couldn't believe what she was hearing. She continued her non-stop tirade. You son of a bitch. My sister and I are already at the 3rd level of the martial realm. How are we not suitable? You think this rundown sect of yours can actually find some kind of genius? As the green-haired girl paused for breath, the purple-haired one jumped in. Besides, we've only been martial disciples for 3 days. Why are you dragging us onto the expulsion platform? If you want to kick us out, just do it. Do you really have to make such a big show of it? When reasoning failed, the two of them resorted to insults. You good-for-nothing, toad-faced, moldy, salt-cured piece of crap. The crowd of onlookers couldn't help but whisper among themselves. He clearly can't find anyone. No wonder this sect only has one person left in it. Being verbally assaulted like this, Yong Ning felt utterly helpless. What else can I possibly do? Those who don't meet the standard must be expelled from the sect. That is my rule. Before I became the sect master, I was the strongest person in the world, you know? My reputation was legendary. I have no reason to use my identity to deceive you. Are you kidding me? He explained until he was blue in the face, but the two girls still weren't buying it. The strongest person in the world. And yet this sect has only you in it? Cut the crap, old man. You're only at the 6th level of the martial realm. Who's going to vouch for you? Sister Chi, let's get out of here. If we stay any longer, this lunatic might go rabid and try to bite us. Let's go. Well, if they're going to be like that, what else could Yong Ning possibly say? He let out a long sigh. These rules were set by that damn old geezer, anyway. I told you not to come, but you wouldn't listen. You just had to give it a shot. If you just kept your mouth shut, this would have all been over. Hearing Yong Ning ramble on only made the girl even more furious. So, basically, you're just some twisted pervert who gets off on bullying innocent girls. I curse you. May you choke on your food, gag on your water, and run out of toilet paper when you take a crap? Yeah, on the toilet. And I hope when you have kids, they're born without buttholes. You will never find a single disciple in your entire life. Sooner or later, this pathetic Wuji sect of yours will be forced to shut down for good. But for Yong Ning, once he finally snaps, all hell breaks loose. Fine, shut down then. I've had more than enough of this. I never gave a damn about being sect master in the first place. I, Yong Ning, would rather go back to Earth and be a corporate wage slave working overtime. The truth is, 3 months ago, at humanity's western defensive line, soldiers were desperately fighting off an invading demon army. By some unknown force, Yong Ning was suddenly transported into this strange world. An old man stood before him. He asked, "What's going on?" I was just at the office working overtime, testing the new Sword Emperor skill for our game. How did I suddenly end up in this godforsaken place? The old man replied, "Never mind that for now. Tell me, that technique you just used, what kind of divine art was it?" Since the old man was asking, Yong Ning decided to give him another demonstration. You mean this? It's not some divine art. A brilliant flash of light shot past where the two of them were standing. Yong Ning unleashed the Sword Emperor skill upon the ground. It was just a mid-tier skill, but his maxed-out, level 100 heaven and earth-shattering sword split the entire landscape in two. Heck, it could probably cleave a few planets in half just as easily. It felt as if space itself had frozen solid. The old man's eyes bulged in disbelief, staring at the unforgettable sight before him. That's enough. Legend tells of a man who fell from the heavens. He wasn't some god or immortal, just a pervert. Just a little heads up. A great demon army is also attacking from the north. Yong Ning is both skilled and tough. Without a second thought, he offered his reassurance. Don't worry. Shao San is already taking care of it. Meanwhile, in the north, the three-headed sorcerer beast performs a high-level summoning technique. A single breath of fire sent the horde of demons scattering in terror. They screamed themselves hoarse. Somebody help. Run for your lives. Watching the scene, the old man felt a pang of fear for its opponents. This Shao San of yours, you should use it less in the future. I get the feeling it's going to completely wreck the environment in this world. Hearing that, Yong Ning had a realization. I get it now. The company's test account, which possessed the skills of every single class in development. I must have absorbed them all. The old man completely lost how to ask. When the world is a test account. It's an account the game company uses for testing. This account has every class at max level. For example, Cultivator, max level 100. Assassin, max level 100. Sorcerer, max level 100. Archer, max level 100. And finally, Sword Emperor, max level 100. The old man didn't understand a lick of it. What a weirdo. I knew it. Then he spoke. Forget it. This old man doesn't care about any of that. Let me put it bluntly. If I hadn't found you while you were unconscious, you would have been eaten by those demons ages ago. A person should know their roots and be grateful. You get me? If you keep spouting nonsense, I'll have to knock some sense into you. That doesn't mean you can force me to inherit this rundown sect that only has you as a member. The old man's eyes welled up with tears after being hit. Fine. You could be the sect master. You just have to make our sect the top sect in the entire world. Or recruit 7 disciples. Seeing the old man's pitiful and desperate state, Yong Ning didn't know how to react. Seeing that he seemed to be giving in, the old man was overjoyed, soaring into the clouds as he sang a celebratory tune. La la la. Now that I've reeled in the kid, excited shouts once again rang out from the market below. The Hu Yu sect has a senior sister to guide you. Look at those newcomers over there. Over here, over here. The Xianling sect is offering free room and board to anyone at the third martial realm. The loud shouting startled poor Yong Ning. Holy moly. Geez, that scared the daylights out of me. It's not like we're going to recruit anyone anyway. This sect is going to go out of business sooner or later. Down below, the crowd began to murmur in awe. Are those fairies descending from the heavens? They're the cultivators from the Eternal Sword sect, aren't they? Up in the sky. There were cultivators who were cool and aloof. Some were adorable, and others were simply beautiful. Every single member of the Eternal Sword sect possesses extraordinary talent. Luo Schwe is even hailed as the goddess sword maiden. What are they doing in a place like this? Luo Schwe led the group toward Yong Ning's sect. 3 months ago, a star fell from the sky and crashed directly into the peak of the Eternal Sword sect's mountain. The impact left their home in ruins. Their sect master vanished without a trace after that. It left them with nowhere to go, so they began to wander the land. I heard they were looking for a sect to take them in. Still, didn't they have to swallow their pride to come here? Yong Ning was a little confused. The peak of the Eternal Sword sect? I think that was the mountain shaped like a sword, right? I remember now. Right after I came to this world, I was testing out some skills. I used Galaxy Fall, a high-level area of effects spell for the sorcerer class, and I think it hit that exact mountain. I can't believe it. I was just messing around, shooting off a little fire, and I made their sect master disappear, and left this group of beautiful young women homeless. Sushu was the first to speak. Senior sister, there are so many people here. Luo Schwe replied. For now, let's just see what they're like. Sensing trouble. Of the 36 stratagems, fleeing is the best. Give me a break. I'd better get out of here fast. The moment they see a girl, their eyes light up. They all rush over with their invitations. Hey, beautiful. If you don't have a place to go, come join our sect. No, our sect is the best choice. Senior sister. Sushu called out suddenly. Luo Schwe's brow furrowed instantly. A sharp clang echoed through the space. Luo Schwe's voice boomed with authority. Listen up and listen well. We will be the ones choosing you, not the other way around. Every sect that wishes to be considered, send out your representative to be tested. The crowd immediately fell into a state of panic. You're more handsome than me. You be the representative. Whoa, what an aura. The sect's representative will be me, the sect leader. The first senior sister of the Eternal Myriad Swords is on a whole other level, going against the flow of the crowd. Yong Ning was still quietly trying to slip away from the trouble, but this only drew Luo Schwe's attention. That man, he's not interested in our sect at all? Is it possible we're not even on his radar? He's different from the others. He's quite special. Could he be some kind of hidden master? Suddenly, a piercing shout cut through the air. Nobody is allowed to choose. Don't move. And don't even think about leaving. The Raging Sun sect has already claimed these young ladies. None of you should even dream of it. Everyone needs to show some respect. Now shut your traps for me. Then he turned and shouted at Yong Ning. Hey you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Get back here. He silently prayed in his heart. That mouth of his. I really just want to run for it. But no. That stinking old geezer's words echoed in his mind. According to sect rules, the sect master must maintain the dignified air of a master when in public. Despite his thoughts, Yong Ning turned around in one swift motion and asked, Yeah? What's the problem? Seeing Yong Ning's flashy demeanor, the large, fat man scowled. Don't you put on an act for me. You're just the sect master of some washed-up, trash sect. I'm in charge here now. What I say goes, and you'll do exactly as I say. And you little ladies, take a good look. This is what you call real strength. Sushu had no idea what was going on. Who was that guy talking to? The man continued his tirade. Sect Master Yi, I'll give you a chance. 3 punches. If you can even make me budge, I'll grant you the privilege of leaving this place. I'll let you walk right out of here. Yong Ning scratched his head, trying to make sense of his words. Hit someone? Hey, my man, did you leave your brain at the gym or something? The fat man's face flushed with anger at the insult. Sensing the situation was escalating, Luo Schwe reacted quickly. This is bad. The fat man stomped his foot hard on the ground. He balled his fist and lunged toward Yong Ning. You son of a bitch. You have a death wish. He let out a tired sigh. Yong Ning remained perfectly still as the fat man charged. The fist was now inches away. A light flashed in Yong Ning's eyes. He raised one hand to block the blow. Fine, I'll grant your wish. The two forces collided with immense, destructive power. Seeing Yong Ning block the attack so easily, the fat man was utterly stunned. In the next second, he was violently thrown backward by Yong Ning. Everything in his path was pulverized. Without a trace, the onlookers quickly put up their guards. Watch out! The fat man finally slammed into a wall. Thousands of meters away, Yong Ning had used a beginner's fist technique. Direct strike, topple the yellow dragon, level 100 max. With the attack finished, he lets out another sigh of relief. But in the next second, Yong Ning's face drains of color. Oh crap, did I break something? Everyone wears the same bewildered expression. How is this possible? How can the Wuji sect have such a powerful master when they've fallen so far? Isn't the Wuji sect a sword sect? Where did this freakishly strong martial artist come from? If that punch had landed on me, I'd be meeting my maker for sure. After a few moments of shock, Yong Ning composes himself and says his goodbyes with a relaxed smile. Sect Master Lai. Was one punch like that really worth it? As for the other two, let's just call it a day. I'm out of here. Luo Schwe watches him, completely captivated. That man, he's so strong. The battle is over. By now, the sky has turned to a deep twilight. The scene shifts to a serene, beautiful landscape. Young birds have awoken to greet the new day. A pair of feet dangles in the air. It's none other than Yong Ning. He lets out a heavy sigh and speaks. Finally back. I'm dead tired. Who builds a sect this far out in the middle of nowhere? Seriously. Suddenly, something strange catches Yong Ning's eye, making him freeze. The sect's gate is in such bad shape. It's literally being held together with tape. Yong Ning's voice is glum. Every time I see this gate, I get the urge to just smash it to pieces. The biggest headache about coming back to the sect is opening this gate. It's huge and heavy. You can't budge it with normal strength. Last time, I used a level 100 basic palm strike and just blasted it open. The old man nearly killed me for it. So now the only way in is to climb the wall like a common thief. It gets a little lonely being all alone in a place this big, a deserted street. As he passes a cold, dark alley, a sudden sound makes him stop. He senses something. Yong Ning frowns. He says, annoyed, she's out again. Time to deal with this. He arrives at the demon suppression hall. Without hesitation, he throws the doors open. A sickly green monster pipes up. Whoa, he's in a foul mood today. Everyone, watch out. That temper. Guess he didn't manage to recruit any disciples today either. He suddenly stops in front of a particular spot. Standing before the iron bars, he calls out, "Save your energy. Your crying won't work on anyone. Besides, I'm the only human here. A high-profile prisoner, living the good life, and still causing trouble." A mournful voice cries out. From within, I don't want to eat. I just want to go for a walk." A pitiful-looking Bai Fei is locked inside the cell. She pleads, "It's so boring being locked in here." Hearing this, Yong Ning replies, "Boring? Then why don't you think about how many people you harmed to end up here? But I've been good. I'm trying to repent. You can't even take care of yourself right now. Why not just let me go?" After her rambling, Yong Ning naturally refuses her request. "No, I made a promise to the old man. I will never let you escape." Hearing the harsh truth, Bai Fei snaps back to reality. He wearily shoves a bite of the steaming food into his mouth as he warns her, "Stop thinking about escaping all the time. It's a stormy world out there. What's wrong with the free snacks in here?" Bai Fei retorts, unconvinced, "I'm a much better treat than some snack. Just let me out, and I'll marry you." Yong Ning sits down, scowling. "You think I'm an idiot, Bai Fei? I'm not that easy to fool." Bai Fei's voice grows even more wounded. "You big idiot. I'm serious. Let's run away together. We'll have lots of children. I've even picked out a name for our first child. Or, if you let me go for 3 years, I can make you the greatest master alive." Yong Ning wasn't fooled by her words. He calmly sat down and replied, "Save your tricks. You're the 9-tailed demon queen, destroyer of an entire dynasty. Don't even think about bringing disaster to the people again. Just stay put right where you are." Unbelievable. He shot a warning glance at Bai Fei in her cell. For all eternity. The words had barely left his mouth when an explosion suddenly erupted from inside. Dust and smoke filled the air. The figure of a young woman with long, white hair gradually emerged. She spoke, her voice bewitching. "Foolish mortals, how pathetic. That old man saved your life, and you intend to bind yourself to this place for an eternity?" Yong Ning replied as he walked away, "You're wrong. I agreed to inherit this sect, not just because he saved me, but because I respect his path. He struggled his entire life, determined to revive this sect. I admire his courage and perseverance. That's why, even though I came into this world with nothing, I decided to carry on his path, so that this sect may once again stand proud in this world." Fei scoffed lightly. "Still trying to act all cool in front of me? So you won't let me out, huh?" Another explosion sounded, and she returned to her previous small, cute form. She sulked, slamming her fists on the ground. "You won't let me out? Fine, I can get out on my own, and when I do, you're dead." At the crack of dawn, sunlight streamed across his face. Waking Yong Ning, he said wearily, "Morning already. I'm still so sleepy. Weather like this is perfect for sleeping in." Sleeping in? Suddenly, a strange voice spoke from outside the window. "Look at the state you're in. How is the Wuji sect supposed to be revived like this?" Startled, he shot up, searching for the source of the voice. "And you in this state?" A black bird was perched on a tree branch, mocking Yong Ning from outside. "The Wuji sect is bound to go to..." Yong Ning sat up, groaning. He replied to the bird, "And how is not sleeping and going to revive the sect? Besides, you're just some bird I found on the side of the road. I don't even know where you came from. Mind your own business." The bird puffed out its chest arrogantly and continued, "Fine. From now on, I'm done managing the books for this broken-down sect. The ancestral teachings and the sect rules? You can handle them yourself. As of today, I officially resign as the sect steward." His words hit a sore spot. He immediately switched to a groveling tone to flatter the bird. "I was wrong. Oh, divine bird, you who knows all the gossip in the world. Good that you know you're wrong. Remember, we have a deal. I help you manage things for 3 years, and you help me fulfill one wish." Still in his flattering mode, he quickly agreed. The bird, still on the branch, urged him, "Then get up and meet the guests." Yong Ning was surprised to hear there were guests. "You can't even find a ghost in this sect, and we have guests?" The black bird flapped its wings to fly away, but not without one last announcement. "There's a group of beautiful girls outside the mountain, clamoring to join this sect." Yong Ning's entire face scrunched up, a look of pure dread on it. "I can't believe it. They actually track me down. They're like ghosts you can't get rid of. But my eyelids, they're so heavy. No, I can't hold on. There's no way I can meet Any guess right now? Nope, not happening. Just as he was about to leave, he heard the birds start nagging him. The blackbird had to waste its breath, try to persuade him again. Haven't you always been looking for a suitable disciple? You won't even take the girls who show up right at your doorstep. Something's not right. Yong Ning refused to accept reality. His choice was, I'm going to sleep. It seemed to have run out of options, so it flapped its wings and flew away, not forgetting to leave one last remark. Suit yourself. Even though the bird was sulking, Yong Ning had no intention of placating it. Just ignore them. They'll give up on their own. That's right. That's definitely it. Outside the Sect gates, a few girls were indeed kneeling on the stone steps. Luo Schwe, her expression tense, thought to herself, Sect Master, if you don't come out to see us, we will absolutely not leave. They knelt from high noon until dusk fell. The problem is, our main character isn't the type to be swayed by a pretty face. Yong Ning stood still, observing the group below from a distance. A gentle breeze swept by, making his handsome face seem even more striking. By the morning of the next day, the sun was high in the sky, but the girls were still stubbornly kneeling at the Sect's gate. Luo Schwe spoke, her face determined and her voice pleading. Sect Master, please come out and meet with us. Sushu, looking utterly exhausted, spoke. Senior sister, we've been kneeling for a whole day. The Sect Master still won't see us. Does this mean he doesn't want to accept us? Yong Ning sat on the roof. He silently listened to Sushu and agreed with her. Finally, someone gets it. Although Luo Schwe wasn't looking to, the Sect Master is a reclusive expert. Accepting a disciple is sure to involve countless trials. We must remain steadfast and not waver. Yin Yu, with her remarkable stamina, quickly nodded in agreement with her. Yong Ning looked down, helpless. He thought to himself, oh, for heaven's sake, don't tell me they plan to kneel here for the rest of their lives. Whatever, I don't care. I'm going back to sleep. That night, a heavy storm rolled in, with booming thunder and lightning. The blackbird stood on a branch, calling out in another attempt to persuade Yong Ning. It's raining so hard. Although he was starting to get a little worried, Yong Ning's will remain firm. I know, they're all martial artists. A little rain won't make them sick. Don't worry about it. The blackbird was helpless. What else could it do now? Even Yong Ning had to admire their persistence. He thought, these girls are relentless. I have to think of a way to make them back down. What a headache. The rain poured down like a waterfall. Luo Schwe's group continued to kneel in the harsh weather. Thunder crashed around them, but no one showed any intention of giving up. The next morning, the sky was clear and cloudless once more. The ground was covered in puddles from the rain. Luo Schwe was still kneeling there. Her clothes were completely soaked from the storm. Her face was etched with extreme exhaustion. Sushu shivered from the cold. It really poured. What awful timing. Her determination returned. Luo Schwe's gaze was fixed intently on the Sect's gate. In the open air, a biting wind continued to whip past them. On the roof, Yong Ning sighed. Why haven't they left yet? Forget it. Out of sight, out of mind. You all can suffer as long as you want. Just as he was about to leave, Yong Ning suddenly sensed that something was wrong. It wasn't just Yong Ning. Luo Schwe also felt that something was amiss. From the bottom of the stairs, a sinister, dark energy was slowly beginning to emerge. Yong Ning's face was full of vigilance. He assessed it internally. Such powerful killing intent. Luo Schwe called out to her junior sisters. Sisters, let's go. What a worthless sect. There's still so much to do. I'm not going in. Her fellow disciples stared in disbelief. Senior sister, you? Suddenly, a terrifying man approached from behind them. He spoke in a cold voice. I finally found you. Seeing the man's figure, Sushu couldn't hide her shock. The white-haired disciple, standing nearby, cried out in terror. It's him. Seeing him, Lei couldn't help but panic. What are we going to do? That demon. He's never going to let us go. While the others were lost in panic, Luo Schwe stood up, drawing her sword. So, it's finally come to this. I'll handle him. The man looked at her expression, quite satisfied. Very good. Before the Sect gates, the gentle morning light brought a sense of peace. But beneath the gate, the air was stretched taut with tension. The stranger radiated an overwhelming, killing intent. His eyes were full of menace as he spoke. You wretched spawn of the Eternal Sword Sect. So you've run to the Infinite Origin Sect. This trash sect actually isn't afraid of me wiping them out? Seeing the dire situation, Sushu tried to warn her. Senior sister, don't do this. The white-haired disciple also saw the clear difference in power and was deeply worried. We're done for this time. In contrast to their fears, she remained perfectly calm and answered him coolly. Wipe them out. Such big words. Besides, the Infinite Origin Sect didn't take us in. Sword Lord. Zi Yao. Years ago, you slaughtered the innocent. Our master took your left eye for it. She paused for a brief moment before quickly continuing. Now, you're taking advantage of the fact that my sect is in ruins to seek your revenge. Fine. I will see this through with you. Let's take this somewhere else. Don't involve the Infinite Origin Sect. The stranger stood his ground and listened. After hearing Luo Schwe's words, his hand tightened on the hilt of the sword on his back. His voice rang with danger. You think you're going anywhere? Right here, right now, you will all give me your left eyes. He seemed very confident in his swordsmanship as he spoke arrogantly. My blade is very fast. I won't let you suffer too much. The sword on his back emanated a colossal, oppressive power. On the steps, high above, Luo Schwe stood tall, her voice echoing down. Years ago, our master left you with one eye, not out of mercy, but so you could continue to bring harm to this world. As she finished speaking, she suddenly leaped high into the air. The sword in her hand pointed straight at him. Her face was a mask of cold fury. She finished her sentence as she flew through the air. Today, I will finish what our master started. And take that other eye. You owe. Her sword swept across in a clean arc. But the stranger was fast, and he dodged the blow. Before he could react, Luo Schwe leaped up and struck again. Yet he dodged it once more. He smirked. So strong. Worthy of the name Sword Maiden. But you are only in the spirit realm. I am a high-level soul master. Provoked by his words, she didn't give up. She growled back. Who wins and who loses is not yet decided. He was no slouch either, immediately leaping away to avoid her slash. He glanced down, his expression as calm as if the fight had not yet truly begun. She leaped above him, pressing her attack in midair. Luo Schwe slashed down. He raised his sword to block. The clash of steel echoed through the air. Despite the intensity of the moment, the stranger still had the mind to tease her. Interesting. On the ground, her junior sisters clenched their fists. It was a rare sight. Looking up, their eyes filled with hope. One of them, clutching her sword, whispered words of encouragement. Senior sister. She swung her sword fiercely once more. This time he was forced back, sent flying several yards. Luo Schwe's brow furrowed slightly. Oomph. The sword in her hand now crackled with fierce lightning. She tightened her grip on the hilt. She shouted, "Break!" Only then did a flicker of surprise show in the stranger's eyes. Seeing the powerful slash coming, he leaped into the air to dodge it. A single slash. The blade tore through the air. The distant trees were cleaved as if struck by a divine axe. The massive trunks lost their balance and came crashing down. When the dust settled, only bare, splintered stumps remained, shattered and broken. A large tree had been sliced clean in two. And right there, he landed, a gleam of amusement in his eyes. He praised her aloud. Not bad. You're more interesting than I thought. She, too, landed on another tree trunk. She remained silent at his words. But then, the stranger's aura shifted. You better be ready. Now it's my turn. Before she could even react, his figure blurred before Luo Schwe's eyes. By the time she realized he was behind her, he was already there. Luo Schwe tried to turn, but he was faster, slashing his blade at her. A look of satisfaction crossed his face. His smirk dripped with malice. He struck her again, this time in the back. Luo Schwe cried out, unable to suppress the pain. The color drained from Luo Schwe's face. Her eyes filled with terror. Below, her junior sisters cried out in panic. Senior sister, badly injured, Luo Schwe clutched her shoulder as she hastily landed on the ground. Though her wounds looked severe, she had no intention of giving up. Again, one of Luo Schwe's arms and her shoulder were covered in scrapes, trembling uncontrollably. As Luo Schwe slowly descended the steps, a voice, Senior sister, worried sick, they had followed her here. Senior sister, are you okay? But Luo Schwe didn't want them involved and yelled at them. Stay back. What did I tell all of you? When we met him, I said I would hold him off. You were supposed to run. What are you still doing here? Now get the hell out of here. Stunned by Luo Schwe's fierce outburst, Sushu and the others stood frozen in place. Luo Schwe only wanted to protect them, which was why her tone was harsh and her words sharp. Don't you dare underestimate your senior sister. I have a plan. Don't get in my way. While they were arguing, he reappeared, blade in hand. Still want to struggle? For a genius, you're still far too green. Give it another year, and maybe that would change. Suddenly, he flashed a cunning smile and continued. But right now, absolutely not. Unafraid of his threat, Luo Schwe poured all her remaining strength into her sword. We'll see about that. Her sword suddenly erupted in brilliant light, emitting arcs of lightning. The time for games was over. Luo Schwe was dead serious. Her expression darkened as she commanded. Wu Tian. No one could believe Luo Schwe would unleash such a powerful technique in her injured state. Could it be that move? Senior sister, don't. In an instant, Luo Schwe's sword grew to a colossal size, radiating a terrifying amount of power. The sword shot forward like a tempest, an incredible speed. Faced with the overwhelming, lightning-fast advance of the giant sword, he was frozen on the spot. Wei Jian. In the blink of an eye, the sword slammed down right where he stood and unleashed an unprecedented wave of power. But that was only the beginning. Luo Schwe thrust her hand forward, unleashing her next move. Yong Ning. The sword began to spin in midair, creating a matrix of light that glittered like the stars in the night sky. The very next moment, that sword of light plunged into the ground once more. And this time, it truly unleashed all of its hidden power. The blade released a torrent of light and energy that seemed to tear space itself apart. It spun in midair like a vortex, unleashing arcs of powerful lightning in every direction. But the man facing it remained unfazed, a smirk playing on his lips, the smile of a true villain. Meanwhile, although her body was battered, Luo Schwe was determined to see it through to the end. She would not let him win. Suddenly, in the blink of an eye, an explosion of energy erupted, bathing the entire sky in a powerful light. Her sword held firm, radiating deadly bolts of tribulation lightning. Luo Schwe struggled to remain on her feet, refusing to fall before him. The friction between their two energies was so immense, it obliterated everything in the vicinity. Even he was momentarily blinded by the blast. The entire world was swallowed by a sea of white. The destructive force they generated shattered the nearby trees, ripping them to shreds. One by one, the trees collapsed, unable to withstand the overwhelming pressure. Cracks spiderwebbed across the stone steps where Luo Schwe had stood just moments before. Its task complete, the sword spun in the air once more, then flew toward the distant steps, plunging deep through layers of earth and rock. Luo Schwe is truly something else. To win so decisively, even in such a weakened state, it was utterly convincing. But now Luo Schwe could no longer stay on her feet. Her entire body was covered in wounds. Her vision blurred, her mind dazed. But at least she knew she had won. Only then did she allow herself to collapse. I did it. Having poured every last ounce of her strength into the fight, she could barely breathe. Seeing this, the others cried out, their voices filled with worry for Luo Schwe. Senior sister. Warm sunlight streamed through the canopy, shining down on Luo Schwe. The others stood there, completely stunned, unable to believe what had just happened. A moment later, they snapped out of it and rushed to her side. That was so reckless. Are you okay, senior sister? Seeing that Luo Schwe didn't have the strength to stand, they helped her up. It's all right, senior sister. I've got you. But just when they thought it was all over, a chilling voice echoed through the clearing. How unexpected. Ling Luo Schwe. Everyone froze, their minds reeling in shock. He's not dead. And there he was, standing completely unharmed behind a veil of dissipating dust. To think you could push past your limits to manifest the sword of eternity, a technique that should be beyond your reach. A pity it was just a pale imitation. You forced it too much. Realizing that even after giving her all, she still couldn't finish him, Luo Schwe seethed with frustration. Damn it. Finding it difficult to talk from above, the man descended to the ground. It seemed a considerable amount of his strength had already returned. The ground cracked beneath his feet as he landed. His expression darkened instantly as he spoke in a grave tone. To prevent any future trouble. I've changed my mind. I don't just want her left eyes anymore. I want all of you dead. Luo Schwe immediately sensed the dangerous aura radiating from him and pushed the others away. Get back. This wasn't over. It was just getting started. Determined to annihilate them, he unleashed his technique. Let the game begin. Razor-sharp projectiles shot forward at an incredible speed. And of course, Luo Schwe took the full brunt of the attack. She used her own body as a shield, refusing to let the others be harmed. Showing no mercy, he seized the opportunity while she was defenseless and lunged forward, sword in hand. But her friends couldn't just stand by and watch. They readied themselves to join the fight. Protect senior sister. Even in this state, she didn't want them involved. Your senior sister doesn't need your protection yet. Stay out of this. As soon as the words left her mouth, Luo Schwe dashed forward to face him head-on, despite how weak she was. To ensure everyone's safety, she had to risk her life against him one last time. He grinned, utterly confident in his own power. No one in this world, you must be insane. I'll slice you to pieces, starting with those hands. Not wanting to drag the others into this fight, Luo Schwe charged forward, shouting at them over her shoulder. Run. Now. Her bloodied hands are now just inches from the razor-sharp blade. Then, in a flash, a brilliant light flared as the sword swung down. He glared forward, absolutely furious that he hadn't touched a single hair on Luo Schwe's head. Even she was shocked by what was happening. Yong Ning had appeared just in time to save her. She immediately turned to see who her heroic savior was, and it was none other than Yong Ning. He stared ahead, his eyes filled with rage that this man had dared to harm Luo Schwe. As Luo Schwe stood there stunned, Yong Ning pulled her behind him, shielding her from the attack. Everyone's jaws dropped, stunned that he would appear here. Young master. The villain was clearly not pleased by his sudden appearance. A Sect master from some rundown Sect dares to meddle in other people's business? It seems you have a death wish. With his signature cold, domineering look, Yong Ning shot back a scathing reply. So arrogant. I like that. But here's the thing. You're the one with the death wish. Stubborn until the bitter end. He was still running his mouth, completely clueless. Me? You'll die right along with them. Yong Ning placed a hand on Luo Schwe's shoulder, shielding her from the cold wind as a smirk crossed his face. Oh. His short fuse finally blew. He couldn't take it anymore and unleashed a flurry of sharp slashes at them. You overestimate yourself. Meddling fool. Now disappear. Gripping his sword, the man charged at them with lightning speed, preparing for a direct assault. But despite the man's aggressive move, Yong Ning remained completely unfazed, the very picture of calm. The air around them suddenly grew heavy. Still clueless that his end was near, he wore a smug grin. Another idiot trying to block my sword with his bare hands. The next second, Yong Ning suddenly raised 2 fingers. A smile played on his lips, as if he was about to unleash some incredible move. You're wrong. Who would have thought he would actually catch the man's blade between those 2 fingers? Faced with this impossible sight, the man was utterly stunned, unable to believe his eyes. His face instantly went taut with tension. This kid, with the power of a supreme master, it was easy for him to shatter the man's sword. Earth rank, martial skill, barehanded blade catch. To deal with you, 2 fingers are more than enough. In a flash, the man's sword shattered into a million pieces. At this sight, the man's eyes flew wide open in astonishment. But he had no intention of giving up and unleashed another attack. This is my strongest sword technique. My ultimate move. Now go to hell. Yong Ning remained silent, his expression grim as he reached out his hand and summoned Luo Schwe's sword from where it lay on the ground. Novice martial artist. Gripping the sword, Yong Ning prepared to go all out in a one-on-one duel. Soon after, a slash as sharp as a scythe flew from the man's position. Water-parting blade draw. Yong Ning wasn't about to be underestimated. He quickly swung his own sword in response. One moment, the man was all bravado, and the next, he suddenly froze. His face darkened. Then, blood sprayed through the air. He had just taken a fatal blow from Yong Ning, with no hope of survival. The arrogant fool who didn't know his place was split in 2 by Yong Ning's powerful strike. A gentle breeze rustled through his hair. Yong Ning smiled, satisfied to have sent the man to meet his maker. Everyone was stunned that he had defeated the man in the blink of an eye. Shortly after, Yong Ning landed gracefully on the ground. He planted her sword in the ground, as if he had just completed a noble mission. Yong Ning walked over to Luo Schwe and gently helped her up. But Luo Schwe's gaze remained fixed on his figure. Having saved Luo Schwe's life, Yong Ning turned to leave without waiting for thanks. The others rushed to her side. Senior sister. Only now did Luo Schwe realize her worldview had been completely shattered. So in this world, there really are people whose fist techniques and swordplay have both reached the pinnacle of perfection. Because Yong Ning was one to help those in need and ask for nothing in return, he simply turned and walked away. But he hadn't gone far when a voice called out from behind him. "Thank you for saving us, Sect Master. Please take us in. We swear we will restore the infinite Sect to its former glory with all our heart and soul. We beg you, Sect Master, please accept us." Faced with their desperate pleas, Yong Ning decided to give them a ray of hope. "If you are all so determined, and you already have some understanding of my sect situation, then I will give you a chance. You have a 3-day trial period as disciples. If you fail the trial, you cannot stay. Don't linger here any longer." Hearing Yong Ning's approval, Luo Schwe was filled with determination, ready to devote her all. "Thank you, Sect Master. We will do our absolute best. We will definitely earn our place." The others' eyes lit up like stars, their hearts filled with joy. The Sect Master agreed to take us in. "This is great." Suddenly, Yong Ning raised his hand and commanded, "Ling Luo Schwe, come here." At the sudden command, everyone was confused. She, in particular, looked at him blankly. After a moment, Luo Schwe regained her composure and slowly stepped forward. She thought Yong Ning had something serious to discuss, but he simply held out his hand, which took her by surprise. "Master?" A truly dedicated man, Yong Ning not only saved her, but was now going to heal her wounds as well. Beginner priest skill. Minor heal, level 100 maxed. Suddenly, a gentle, green aura enveloped Luo Schwe. In a flash, all the wounds on her body vanished completely. Color returned to Luo Schwe's face, and she looked much healthier. Witnessing this, everyone was in awe of his many talents. "Sect Master, what kind of technique is this?" Senior sister's injuries were so severe, but they healed in an instant. "Is the Sect Master a divine healer?" Lu Qing, standing nearby, stared intently at the two of them. Her brow furrowed slightly as a thought crossed her mind. "Sect Master Yong." A moment later, Luo Schwe looked herself over, shocked to find her wounds completely gone. "Healed this fast. It's unbelievable. Even the old scar on my wrist is gone." While everyone else found the scene miraculous, Yong Ning didn't think it was a big deal at all. Geez, they're making such a big deal over a minor healing spell. They're all max-level skills, after all. This is just broken. Grateful to Yong Ning for saving her life and healing her wounds, Luo Schwe bowed deeply to express her gratitude. "Thank you for saving my life, Master." Noticing it was getting late, Yong Ning waved off the formalities. "Get up. We're heading back to the Sect." Finally having a place to call home, everyone beamed with joy. "Yes, sir." Under Yong Ning's protection, they set off for the Sect. Before long, they arrived at Yong Ning's Sect, a place secluded from the bustling mortal world. As they looked around, they all gaped in astonishment. The gate is huge. How do we even open this thing? Of course, Yong Ning wasn't about to use brute force. He simply raised his hand and projected a stream of energy toward the gate. The gate immediately responded to Yong Ning's unique energy. And with just a touch from him, the massive doors swung wide open. As the gates opened, a powerful gust of wind blasted against them. Yong Ning turned back to the group and said, "Let's go in." The enormous gates slowly opened, revealing the long path that awaited them. The moment they stepped inside, their jaws dropped in awe. A tranquil, celestial paradise, floating high in the sky, unfolded before their very eyes. It's so vast. The next morning, the sun rose after a long night, casting its warm rays on the world below. Although the new day had just begun, Yong Ning had been sitting on the roof for a while, letting out a yawn, and asking himself, "Why am I up so early?" Suddenly, the bird flew over to him with a report. "You should see how hard these girls are working. Only a heartless person would want to kick them out now." Still half asleep, Yong Ning let out another huge yawn and asked, "Is that so?" Seeing how indifferent he was, the bird pointed for him to see. "Look, Luo Schwe has been cultivating there all night. Looks like she finally fell asleep. She really is a sword fanatic, just like the rumors said." Seeing Luo Schwe's dedication and diligence, Yong Ning couldn't help but feel a little impressed. She's really pushing herself. Suddenly, the bird had a ridiculously random thought. But if she's that obsessed with the way of the sword, you think she's lost interest in men? You got a quick scolding for that. You're so damn nosy. Where are the other disciples? The bird had been observing their every move since dawn and reported back to him. Over there, they've been up working since early this morning. Grateful for Yong Ning's kindness, the girls were determined not to be idle and began helping with the manual labor around the sect. Suddenly, the bird had another question. You do remember all their names, right? But Yong Ning's reply was blunt. How am I supposed to remember the names of a dozen different girls? Only a few of the weird ones left an impression. The big one, Suchio, the group's muscle. The cultivation nut. Why do I get so hungry whenever I cultivate? Lele, the self-proclaimed #1 fan who's truly in love with Luo Schwe. I won't let anyone lay a single finger on my senior sister. The little chef, Yinyu. Can I help clean the Sect master's room? Men don't know how to take care of themselves, after all. The courtesan, Shun Er, the one with androphobia. Teacher always said, all men are tigers. The tomboy, Xiong Xiaoxi. The cosplayer. I love dressing up as different characters. The spear wielder, Lu Qing. The strange girl. Sect master, have you already forgotten me? Suddenly, in the next second, Yong Ning stood up and jumped down. I made up my mind. Decided what? Who would have thought he'd make such a ruthless decision? It's time to clean house. I'll watch them from the shadows and find a weakness I can use to get rid of them. She couldn't help but question his intentions. You hurriedly tried to send them away. Did something happen? A while later, everyone gathered together in the Chongla Palace. While sewing, Han Ni decided to ask Xiao Shi for her opinion on Yong Ning. So what do you guys think? Can we really trust this sect master? She immediately expressed her thoughts. He's very strong, but he seems a bit too reckless. But still, we should trust our senior sister's choice. But Han Ni's paranoia began to creep in again. What if he's somewhere right now, spying on us? Man, honestly, they make you so uneasy. But upon hearing that, the other girl immediately dismissed it. Nonsense. The sect master is an honorable man. But little did she know that Yong Ning was in fact eavesdropping on them. Hearing their suspicions, he couldn't help but feel indignant. That's right. I am honorably supervising you. I'm not some peeping Tom. While everyone else was leisurely chatting, Sushu was busy chopping firewood. After chopping for a while, she started to get tired. I'm so exhausted. Meanwhile, Yong Ning was secretly using this task to gauge Sushu's abilities. This idiot. She's not even using her true chi to chop wood. She just might be the weak link I've been looking for. Just then, Han Ni decided she would clean his room until it was absolutely spotless. Not a speck of dust. Let's go tidy up this room a bit. I just get the feeling this sect master isn't very respectable. He just seems so untrustworthy. Suddenly, as she was wiping the floor with a damp cloth, something unexpected happened. Han Ni froze, wondering what she could have possibly triggered. Huh. A moment later, the square section of the floor around Han Ni suddenly began to descend. The floor is sinking. The others cleaning with her were suddenly struck by a terrible feeling. Who would have thought that Han Ni, just trying to clean the place, would accidentally fall into a bottomless pit? Help! That piercing scream immediately caught Yong Ning's attention. Knowing something had gone terribly wrong, he rushed toward the sound. Something's happened. Without a moment's hesitation, Yong Ning shot forward like a rocket. He burst straight through rooms, like a bolt of lightning streaking across the sky. Yong Ning moved so fast that all anyone could see were flashes of light. When he arrived, the others were still in a panic, unsure of what to do. Huan Yang, Sect Master. Han Nishi, knowing that even a second's delay could be fatal, he didn't waste any time and leaped straight down into the hole. His reassuring voice echoed in the darkness. Don't be afraid. The Sect Master is here. You're going to be okay. Meanwhile, Han Ni was still in free fall, plummeting into the deep pit with no way to stop herself. All she could do was scream, "Help me!" As Han Ni flailed helplessly, Yong Ning dove after her at godlike speed to save her. To gain speed, Yong Ning leaped from wall to wall, propelling himself downward even faster. In just a moment, Yong Ning caught up to the falling Han Ni. He quickly reached out and caught her in his arms. She was safe now, rescued just in the nick of time. Yong Ning was truly a hero, saving the damsel in distress. always appearing just when a girl needed him most. The shaft wasn't pitch black. Small oil lamps were mounted along the walls on both sides. Meanwhile, Han Ni, still in shock from the fall, was trembling like a leaf. "It's okay now, Huan Yang." Just as Yong Ning finished speaking, she corrected him, stammering, "I wasn't scared. And besides, my name isn't Huan Yang. It's Han Ni. The master told you before. Men are all wicked creatures." He was right. "Sect Master, please let go of me. Don't take advantage of me while I'm vulnerable." But in reality, she was the one clinging tightly to Yong Ning, refusing to let go. He, on the other hand, was barely even touching her. Yong Ning understood that Han Ni was still panicking and tried to calm her down. "Don't worry. We're safe now." The next second, Han Ni immediately let go of him and stepped forward, trying to act composed. She looked around and asked, "Sect Master, is there an exit nearby?" Unfortunately, Yong Ning's answer was, "No. This place is a trap for intruders. The formation here suppresses spiritual sense and flight abilities. Flight techniques won't work. Forget it. We'll just have to wait for backup." Even though Yong Ning had done nothing, Han Ni's wild imagination ran away with her again. "Just the two of us, a man and a woman, all alone down here, waiting for help. Sect Master, you wouldn't take advantage of the situation, would you?" She was seriously overthinking things. In a desolate place like this, it was only natural for there to be rats. But, like many women, Han Ni was terrified of the rodent. She immediately leaped onto Yong Ning, clinging to him like superglue. A rat. Even though she was the one who had jumped on him, Han Ni once again started her accusations. "Sect Master, how could you take advantage of me like this?" Faced with Exiner's baseless accusation, "You're the one who clearly." Instead of waiting here peacefully, the two of them were already at each other's throats. "I am a disciple, not your personal slave, Sect Master. Don't push it." "Who's the one pushing it here?" "All right, the mouse is gone. You can get down now." But Exiner's face was still a mask of pure terror. "I'm terrified of mice." Yong Ning paid her no mind, simply urging her on. "Let's go. We can't stay here forever. Let's try and find a way out." But, to his dismay, Exiner refused to budge. "I want to stay here and wait for reinforcements. Going into a dark place with a man, it's too dangerous." Since Exiner was so insistent, he didn't waste another breath and simply started to leave. Fine. But for all her tough talk, Exiner was really just a scaredy cat. The fear of being left alone quickly overwhelmed her. And just like that, as she latched onto him again, Yong Ning's expression darkened. She kept accusing him of having ulterior motives, yet she was the one constantly jumping on him. "Get off. It was just the wind. What's there to be afraid of? This is the third time you've jumped on me today." Getting addicted to it, seeing Yong Ning's harsh reaction, Exiner climbed down and started sniffling to herself. "I'm not going with you anyway. I'm determined to wait here for backup." Who would have thought that Yong Ning would actually call her bluff and leave her behind? Unable to bear being alone in such a terrifying place, Exiner took off running after him. "Wait for me, Sect Master." Indeed, the deeper they went, the darker the space became. Exiner didn't dare leave his side, clinging to the hem of his robe as she trailed slowly behind him. Annoyed by this, he frowned and confronted her. "Do you really have to hold on to me like that?" This time, instead of accusing him, Exiner actually explained. "My master once said that men and women must maintain an appropriate distance from one another to avoid arousing any improper reactions." Her extreme wariness of men was giving him a headache. Unexpectedly, after walking for a while, a small passage appeared before them. An exit. However, what lay before them was not flat ground. Instead, long wooden pillars jutted up from the chasm below. Staring at the surreal and gloomy scene, Exiner was completely stunned. "Where is this?" Standing beside him, Exiner's eyes were wide with astonishment. She couldn't help but exclaim, "So many pillars. Just jumping across all of them would be exhausting." Hearing this, Yong Ning calmly began to explain. "That's not what's important. What's important is, this is the Kongming Death Formation. The legendary, twisted Kongming Formation with its tens of thousands of pillars. Step on a single wrong one, and the entire array will collapse in an instant." The two of them were now standing directly across from a cave entrance on the other side. Yong Ning glanced at her and continued nonchalantly, "I'm surprised you know anything about it." Hearing this, Exiner replied softly, I've always been a fan of formation arrays. I may have never seen one in person, but I've certainly read about them. To cross this formation, you have to jump countless times, and with each jump, the formation resets to its original state. You have to recalculate the safe footing from scratch every single time. This formation is fundamentally impossible to cross. Seeing him start to step forward, she asked in a panic, what are you doing?" In stark contrast to her anxiety, he answered calmly, "Just stepping onto it. I want to give it a try." Exiner immediately tried to stop him, her voice filled with worry. "Sect Master, please don't be reckless. One wrong step and you'll die. I think we should just wait for my senior sisters to come rescue us." But he had already stepped onto the stone platform. He maintained that same cool demeanor. "Then you can wait here. I'm going to the other side." Without a second thought, Exiner rushed forward and clung to him tightly. "Let's go. I'm ready. Let's do this. I'm your disciple. After all, I'll go where you go." He could only remain silent, helpless against her relentless clinginess. Yong Ning let out a soft sigh, looking helplessly at the girl latched onto him. "You really are a coward." And still, she missed her mark, completely overshot it. Her face turned crimson, but she refused to let go. She muttered under her breath, "That's not what I meant." Without another moment's hesitation, Yong Ning launched himself into the air. He told her, "Hold on tight." The leap was so powerful, he became a blur, streaking through the darkness, causing Honor to shriek in terror. In a single bound, he cleared a whole series of stone pillars. As he prepared to land on the next one, he warned, "Don't you move." The moment they landed, she blurted out, "Sect Master, could you maybe put an arm around me?" He grunted softly. "If I misstep, that's when we'll have a real problem." Hearing that, she was stunned. "No way. You found the only gate of life in an instant." Sensing the urgency, he warned, "I'm picking up the pace. You'd better hold on." She screamed in panic. "Don't." Each jump requires calculating thousands of new possibilities to find the gate of life. "Don't be so rash." But he ignored her pleas and took off in a flash, even as she screamed herself hoarse. "Too fast. I'm getting dizzy." He continued his chain of impossible leaps between the widely spaced pillars. She felt worse with every jump. "I'm gonna be sick." Her desperate grip did nothing to slow his incredible speed. In what felt like seconds, they reached the other side of the cavern. Yong Ning landed gently on the ground. Before them was the gaping mouth of a dark cave. He scanned their surroundings, almost forgetting to tell her, "Hey, we're here." Hearing this, she looked up, her voice a mixture of shock and disbelief. "We're here." Impossible. The scrolls say this formation requires tens of thousands of calculations for every single step. How did you cross it so quickly? Yong Ning just snorted. "I did calculate it," he added calmly. "I calculated all the future permutations before my first jump." She couldn't believe it, stammering, That's just crazy talk." Yong Ning replied nonchalantly, "Who's joking? My proficiency with these kinds of formations is maxed out. For a puzzle of this level, I just have to activate the right function and it's solved. You can get down now. In any case, before I confirm it's safe, I'm not moving from this spot." Her eyes were drawn to something else. A massive stone door bearing a yin-yang symbol stood before them. She slid off his back, her gaze fixed on the giant door. What part of this isn't safe? It's just a door. Then, a jolt of recognition hit her. This door, it looked so familiar. Contrary to her first impression, the door was so colossal it made them look like specks of dust. Yong Ning was quick to identify it. This is the dragon severing, demon imprisoning formation. She recognized it instantly. Classification: Epic Grade. To solve it, you have to press the recessed stones in a sequence 18,632 steps long. One wrong move, and the stone door locks forever. In the entire history of formation arts, only 3 people have ever opened it successfully. At her lengthy explanation, he just said, "Oh." Seeing him step forward without a second thought, Honor panicked. She cried out, immediately throwing herself into a panic. She threw out a hand to stop him. "Wait, don't be reckless. This is a high-difficulty, epic-grade formation. If you just press things randomly, once it's locked, we're done for. The entire space will be sealed with us inside. We're gonna die, for sure." He fell silent and let out a soft sigh. Yong Ning couldn't help but chuckle. then suddenly snapped into a fighting stance. She looked a little surprised. Wait a second. Don't tell me you've already figured it out? He answered nonchalantly. Nope. Chinger was stunned. So you're just going to brute force it again? Figuring it out is easy, but I'd have to press those stones over 10,000 times. That's exhausting. I'm not solving this array. Her voice held a hint of disappointment. You can't solve it all, can you? This array seems like something only a great sage could figure out. But besides using your brain, there's another way to break an array. He didn't say another word. Instead, he drew back his fist and aimed it at the stone door. His fist shot towards the gate. Meanwhile, outside, the senior sisters were still trying to figure out a rescue plan. A junior sister asked nervously, Senior sister, if we start digging from here, how long will it take to get them out? Luo Schwe answered calmly. Stop wasting your breath. Even if we have to dig through the entire Wuji sect, we will get them out. Suddenly, a deafening explosion echoed from deep within the earth. Something blasted out from inside, stunning everyone. Through the thick cloud of dust, a massive hole gaped where the solid wall once stood. Yong Ning appeared in the opening. He walked out casually, as if nothing had happened. We're out. Exiner, standing behind him, was speechless with shock. This is how he breaks an array? This man is terrifying. He reminded them calmly. Next time you're cleaning, try to be more careful. Without rushing. He hopped down from the shattered stone platform he just punched through. Outside, Sushu could only stare, dumbfounded. Then, she breathed. What a monster. Punching through a stone wall that thick with a single fist. Then you turned to Luo Schwe. Senior sister. So, is our rescue mission over, just like that? Luo Schwe didn't answer. Her face was a mask of deep thought. She just watched silently as he walked away. In her heart, she made a vow. Sect Master, please allow this Lin Luo Schwe to follow you for the rest of my life. Sihai City, West County. Most of the buildings here had an Eastern architectural style. The streets were always bustling. A constant, dense crowd of people came and went. Yong Ning was dressed a little differently today than usual. This world has no comics or video games. At least there are still novels to read. I didn't expect the books that Shinibu Kid recommended would actually be decent. He glanced around as he walked. That's right. Today is their second trial. I borrowed the book. Now I need to get back and deal with some Sect business. 4 large men appeared in front of him. They swaggered down the street, acting like they owned the place. One of them sneered. Hey, in a bit, let's go check out that place. The kid up ahead looks like a real idiot. Yong Ning was still engrossed in the book he was holding, completely oblivious to what was in front of him. This Junyang's tale is pretty good. Junyang, Lung Feng, and Xiao Yu. It's so hard to choose. Lost in thought, he slammed right into one of the 4 men. Oof. He staggered back and looked up, startled at the person he'd hit. You guys, the man he bumped into scowled immediately. Kid, you guys what? Can't you watch where you're going? You bumped into us. Yong Ning's expression didn't change. He just let out a soft "oh." That just seemed to piss the guy off even more. He was clearly trying to pick a fight. So what now? You tell me. He calmly bent down to pick up the book that had fallen. His voice was still even. My apologies, then. But the apology did nothing to calm the other man down. He stomped his foot right on the book. Yong Ning looked up. A cold glint appeared in his eyes. The thug kept his mouth shut. Pointing behind him, he barked an order. Hey kid, you seriously injure my brother here. The man who'd been hit played along, clutching his stomach and writhing on the ground. It hurts so much. So much pain. A nearby old man sighed. That poor young man. The crowd around them began to whisper. Those thugs are at it again. Yeah, they always hang around the library gate, preying on weak scholars. Yong Ning's bangs obscured his face. No one could see his expression, but the chill in his voice was unmistakable. So, the leader just sneered, enjoying the young man's humiliation. So, hand over all your money right now, and we'll call it even. Yong Ning's grip tightened on the book. A murderous aura began to radiate from him. He spoke. And if I don't, what then? The old man, who had been watching from the start, could only shake his head in dismay. Another foolish scholar. It's over. He's definitely going to get hurt. What do we do? Should we help him? No way. These 4 bastards are all mid-stage martial realm experts. We can't get involved. This is awful. And of course, there are no patrol guards around. The thug was much larger, and he threatened him with a confident sneer. You won't hand it over? Didn't think a little brat like you had such a big mouth. If you don't, this will be your fate. Yong Ning just scoffed at the threat. He looked up, watching the thug's every move. The thug grabbed a thick, heavy plank of wood from somewhere. With a flourish, he shattered it with a single punch. The people nearby gasped at the display. My God! Overly confident in his own strength, the thug snarled. Listen up, kid. This fist is what's coming for you. He then swung his fist sideways. A hole appeared in the nearby wall, even though his fist never touched it. The old man standing nearby clenched his fists in anger. That man, he's a monster. So powerful. But Yong Ning remained completely calm in the face of this display of power. Is that all? I can do that, too. Hearing his words, the thugs burst out laughing. It was a triumphant laugh. This kid's a real idiot. It's come to this. And he's still talking tough. As they were laughing, the leader suddenly froze, noticing something. He looked left and right, searching for his blade. Where's my sword? Somehow, the blade was already in Yong Ning's hand. He spoke nonchalantly. I wasn't lying to you. I really can do it. He held the hilt in one hand, and with the other on the tip, he began to bend it as if it were a toy. Watch. As he spoke, he snapped the massive blade in two with his bare hands. The once mighty blade now lay in 3 separate pieces. The 2 thugs who had just been mocking him could only stare wide-eyed. Seeing this, the other 2 broke out in a cold sweat and began to stammer. What is this? Oh, and there's this. I can do this too. Yong Ning raised his hand, looking like he was about to do something. Watch closely. He threw a light punch to the side. A deafening crash rang out. A massive hole had appeared in the wall far behind him. The 4 of them could only stand there, mouths agape, stunned by his power. Even the people who had been worried about him moments ago were now completely shocked. Is this young man some kind of a mortal who's descended to the mortal realm? Guess it's true. My make's right. Am I dreaming? Somebody pinch me. He lightly blew on his fist and spoke casually. So, you're going to hand over every valuable you have on you to me. Only then will we consider this matter settled. Witnessing the power he had just displayed, they couldn't help but tremble in fear. How can you be so strong? Are you a monster? They decided their lives were more important and turned to run for it. Run. Don't let him catch us. He nonchalantly turned to watch the fleeing figures. Running? He immediately gave chase. Don't even think about it. But after just a few steps, one of his shoes flew off his foot. He could only stand there, helpless and frustrated. He stopped chasing them. It seemed he chose a different approach. As he held the shoe that had just slipped off his foot, he casually spun the shoe in his hand. None of you are getting away. Go. He forcefully flung the shoe forward. The shoe immediately slammed into the back of the man leading the pack. It then ricocheted, hitting another one from behind. The man turned back, startled, just in time for the shoe to smack him on the butt before flying off again. Unlike the other 3, the last thug wasn't so lucky as the shoe flew straight into his open mouth. The impact was so strong that the moment it hit, it sent him flying backward. He was thrown a great distance. All he could do was lie on the ground, groaning in agony. It hurts so much. The young man walked up to him, one foot shod and the other bare. Incredibly, he had the audacity to say, "You got my shoe dirty. How dare you?" The man knelt on the ground, trembling as he spoke. "Please spare my life. Hero, everything we have. It's all yours." Still looking annoyed, the young man raised his fist. "That's not enough. You still have to take a punch from me." Hearing this was like a bolt from the blue, and the man trembled violently. The young man just stared at him in silence as the thug, overwhelmed by fear, fainted. Useless. Fine, whatever. Let's see what goodies you guys have on you. Something to compensate my poor, terrified heart. The onlookers who had been watching the whole time were in awe. I never would have guessed. That refined-looking young man is actually so powerful. And I never thought I'd see the day those 4 thugs got what they deserved. A little girl standing nearby added with a sigh. The little girl ran over with a bright smile. "I'll help you pick up your books, big brother. I want to see what kind of books give you so much power." The young man nonchalantly sat down and picked up a coin purse. These guys must have been wasting all their money. Of course, it was just a few loose coins. Well, fine. I'll take these 2 sabers and the coins. Consider it a discount. He slung the 2 sabers over his shoulder, grabbed the coin purse, and casually walked away. As he approached, he saw the little girl diligently doing something. "What are you doing?" The little girl quickly answered him. "I'm helping you pick up your books." Then, she started to notice the titles. These books are, When he saw that she could read the titles, he froze in panic. The little girl handed the books back to him, not forgetting to ask, "Hero, is this kind of inappropriate stuff what all heroes read?" He took the books completely, speechless. The moment the books were in his hands, he took off running. "I'm out of here." The little girl just stood there, quietly watching him run away. Later, perched on a branch, a small bird looked into the study where Yong Ning was fast asleep and began to complain. "Why are you sleeping in the study?" Deep in slumber, he was roused by the voice and groggily rubbed his eyes. "Don't even mention it. This morning, I got hassled by some broke-ass thugs." He glanced out the window, surprised. It was already dusk. The sun's already setting? Time waits for no one. Hearing that, the bird asked, "What are you planning to do?" A sly grin spread across his face. "I've actually found a way to break through. If we do it now, we can let them leave right away." It could only watch, helpless against his cunning. "The way you talk right now sound just like a bunch of rebels." The setting sun cast a gentle glow across the dark red roof tiles. He stood behind a tree, observing the activity over there. "Sushu seems to be busy. Chopping firewood? Because she's counting. 407. It watched her from its perch in the tree. That woman, her mind is so pure. And she doesn't seem to have a cunning bone in her body. He replied nonchalantly. Who cares about that? The point is, she's never used her internal energy to chop wood, which means her cultivation is likely below the 6th level. That same smile appeared again. A smile filled with less than noble intentions. I'm going to check her pulse. Once I find out, and if you've been deceiving this master, you'll all have to leave. It could only feel a sense of utter helplessness. 7 parts helpless, 3 parts resigned. There's that sinister tone of yours again. His voice caught her attention. Sushu, stop what you're doing for a moment. I need you to confirm something for me. Sect Master, you. He suddenly grabbed her wrist. For some reason, the air around them filled with a sparkling pink aura. This is... He closed his eyes to focus, trying to sense her cultivation level. But while he was serious, she blushed and said shyly, This is my first time holding hands with a man. Her words left him speechless. The others started to notice them. Sect Master, what are they doing? I have no idea. Realizing they were drawing attention, he began to feel anxious, as if he'd been caught doing something shady. Crap, too many people. I have to find another spot. Without hesitating, he pulled her along. Her mind, however, began to run wild. Is this just like a scene from a romance novel? The domineering Sect Master forcefully. As the thought crossed her mind, her face, already red, turned an even deeper shade of crimson. Takes the poor, helpless maiden away to a secluded place. Sushu called out to him softly, Sect Master, but he didn't say a word, only putting a finger to his lips in a shush gesture. He took her hand again, sending her thoughts spiraling once more. Is this what they talk about in the stories? He won't let me speak because he wants to kiss me? Isn't this a little too fast? She tried to take a deep breath to calm herself. So I have to kiss him? But she quickly shook her head, dismissing the thought. No, it's too fast. He seemed to have finished his assessment, as his expression fell. Her true chi is just having trouble coalescing. It gathers and then dissipates. Her cultivation level really is only at the 2nd stage. Ugh, looks like this is the only way. Fine. He immediately let go of her hand, startling her. She was still blushing furiously as she spoke in a timid voice. Can we maybe start with a hug? I've never been so intimate with a man before. Her words left him utterly bewildered. He had no idea what she was talking about. Sect Master, you're being too hasty. To be noticed by you is my good fortune. I know that. Living under someone else's roof. I know some sacrifices are unavoidable. I understand, but it's still my first time. You have to give me a little time to prepare. She went on, leaving him completely lost. What the hell is she talking about? I was just... Before he could finish, she cut him off again. I'm just a useless burden to the team, the one who eats the most. If this body must be wronged by the Sect Master, in exchange for a safe place for everyone, then I am willing. I've always had a good impression of the Sect Master, but please be gentle and guide a simple girl like me, who knows nothing of romance. Listening to her long, rambling speech and being constantly interrupted was starting to get on his nerves. Damn it, I don't get it either. How the hell am I supposed to guide you? She remained shy and bashful. Sect Master, as for serving you, could you give me a few days to prepare? Luo Schwe appears suddenly behind her, making her jump. What on earth are you talking about? The Sect Master is not that kind of person. Luo Schwe's words only confuse her more. But didn't the Sect Master want me to use my body in exchange for letting everyone stay? He finally understands what Sushu has been implying. So that's the kind of person you think I am. Yin Yu, though young, is quick to apologize on her behalf. Sect Master, Sushu misunderstood. She didn't know what she was saying. If it's really necessary, then I'm the one who should make the trade. While Sushu is still reeling, he calmly and directly clarifies. I simply wanted to determine if she was suitable for cultivation. That's all. Luo Schwe quickly adds. The Sect Master is very observant. He could tell there was a problem with Sushu's chi. He wanted to help you. Sushu, you should be thanking the Sect Master. The realization finally dawns on Sushu. Thank you, Sect Master. So, do we still need to hold hands? He's rendered speechless, at a complete loss for words. That won't be necessary. We'll address the issue if you become an official disciple. Tomorrow, all of you will prepare for the initiation trial. Luo Schwe is stunned. Yin Yu, however, is thrilled. She replies with an enthusiastic, "Yes, sir." In the dungeon, Yong Ning leans against a wall, urging the person inside to finish their meal. Hurry up and eat. The new arrival is waiting to wash the dishes. Bai Fei replies casually, "How about you let me out? I'll wash my own dishes." Next to where she's eating is a crude doodle that looks suspiciously like him. He replies, his voice unhurried. So naive. From inside her cell, she looks in his direction. Speaking of which, are you really going to let them take the initiation trial? Their cultivation levels meet the requirements. The only way to know for sure is to test them. Whether they pass or not is up to their own destiny. She sets her bowl down. The Wuji Sect's initiation trial. It hasn't been held in nearly 100 years. To suddenly bring it back now? Something's bound to go wrong. You need to be careful. Yong Ning sits down in front of the cell door. Facing her. Don't start with your baseless superstitions. It's just climbing a mountain. Reach the summit and you pass. Simple as that may sound, she trusts her gut and argues back. The Wuji Sect is an ancient power. One of its mountains is no ordinary mountain. This time, I suspect something truly terrible is going to happen. Yong Ning remains unconvinced, simply warning her. Stop trying to scare people. Just eat. I'm in a hurry to get some sleep. At his words, Bai Fei starts shoveling food into her mouth. That's right. Hey, how about you let me take the initiation trial? I could even be your disciple. It'd be great, right? He remains perfectly calm in the face of her wheedling. Don't think I can't see you're just looking for another way to escape. If I were to let you, a demon queen, out of this place, it would plunge the world into chaos. But I'm so well behaved. I promise I won't corrupt your precious little female disciples. At most, I'll just teach them how to be real women. She lets out a satisfied burp after finishing her meal. She ate so fast that rice is still stuck to the corner of her mouth. So, sound like you ran into a girl today who doesn't understand the ways of the world. You know, women, they're a tricky vehicle to pilot. Don't you go changing the subject. Ever since you told me the real meaning of flying a plane, I can't stop thinking about how long it's been since I've gotten to fly. She stops, realizing he's gone. Hey, where did you go? He's gone. But what about the dishes? Still, Bai Fei's resolve to escape is unshaken. Standing on a rocky outcrop, she clenches her fist and lets out a scoff. This dungeon won't hold me. I will get out of here. At the crack of dawn, the day of the Wuji Sect's initiation trial arrived. The trial would take place on a mountain known as Shaoling Mountain. Nestled within the central spirit peak range of the Wuji Sect, it was a humble, small mountain. It was also part of the Sect's back mountains. The Sect Master was up all night, so he's not awake. He said you can just start climbing the mountain yourselves. Perched on a branch, it raised a wing and pointed forward. You just have to rely on your own strength. Reach the summit, and you'll be qualified to join. The others were a bit surprised to hear that the trial was simply to climb a mountain. Mountain climbing? Is that really all there is to it? Anyone can climb a mountain. Is this really all the Wuji Sect is testing us on? Sushu complained about their Sect Master. He's the Sect Master, a martial arts practitioner, and he still stays up all night? He has no self-discipline at all. Yin Yu quickly rushed to his defense. That's not it at all. I happened to see the Sect Master last night. It was the middle of the night. The Sect Master was carrying a lantern, heading toward the mountain cliffs. You have to remember, This place is right on the border of the wasteland city, where demons roam free. The Sect master must be standing watch at night, protecting the mortal realm from the demons. Beside her, Luo Schwe quickly chimed in with praise. A guardian of the night, a hero who guards the human world, preventing demons from ever breaking through. The Sect master must be one of them. 70% of this world has already been lost to the demons. The territories known as the wasteland cities are expanding every day. We're lucky to have heroes like the Night Guardians standing watch over what's left of the human world. The Wuji Sect is right on the border of the wasteland city. We should have realized it sooner. Hearing this, Yin Yu's face swelled with pride. Exactly. The Sect master is a guardian of the night, so gentle, yet so lonely. Luo Schwe was also filled with pride for him. The Sect master truly is a legendary hero. Inspired by the story, their spirits soared. Even if it costs us our lives, we have to join the Wuji Sect. We'll follow the Sect master to our dying breath, the others behind them shouted in unison. Yeah, the bird recalled him going to the cliff last night. Last night, he clearly just woke up to take a leak. He got lost and ended up at the canyon. He was screaming for my help in every way imaginable, whining that he was cold and scared, begging me to come get him. Where am I? Can somebody please take me home? But in Yin Yu's eyes, he'd become a completely different figure. Ah, whatever. Let them have their little fantasies. They began their ascent from the base of the mountain. Suddenly, a stranger appeared behind them. Excuse me. Wait up. I'm here for the entrance trial, too. As the group of female disciples made Who is that? A female disciple turned her head and asked. The girl next to her looked on, curious. Where did this other person come from? Another female disciple turned around and asked. At her question, everyone else turned to look. Your outfit is really strange. One of the girls commented. Yong Ning was draped in a cloak that covered him from head to toe. Hearing the female disciple's questions, he stammered. Damn that by Fei, making it sound like this trial is so dangerous I had to come along and protect everyone. A person should act with integrity. Take down your hood. Luo Schwe stepped out from the group of disciples. Seeing the newcomer, he let out a few fake coughs. Yong Ning was on the verge of being found out. The black bird in the tree quickly spoke up. She's the Sect master's dear younger sister, but she's incredibly shy, and she's afraid of strangers, so please be patient with her. Hearing this, Yong Ning's face was a mask of disbelief. Damn it, who are you calling a woman? You damn bird, I'll get you for this later. He seethed, vowing revenge. Hearing the black bird's explanation, the disciples gave a knowing smile. Hey big sis, if you're that shy, you'll never find a boyfriend. Sushu teased. Who needs something like a boyfriend anyway? But he quickly corrected himself. I mean, I'm still too young for that. I'm not thinking about those things right now. And you had somehow gotten close and was looking up at him. Wow, you're really tall for a girl. Yong Ning could only blush awkwardly. I am, aren't I? I just have long legs, that's all. Seeing that Yong Ning was about to be exposed, the blackbird on the tree cut in. All right, let's get a move on. The group ventured deeper into the woods, stopping when they reached the base of a cliff. This mountain doesn't seem special. It's just really tall, someone remarked. But Luo Schwe didn't lower her guard. Don't underestimate this. There's something wrong with this mountain. I'll go first and scout ahead. All of you stay close. Be careful. Behind them, Sushu also complied. Yes. With that, the figures leaped into the air and vanished from sight. Among them was the disguised Yong Ning. A blackbird followed from above, watching the group with a thought. These young women, their physical constitutions, and their character are all excellent. You found some real gems, Yong Ning. The group flew straight for the summit, with Luo Schwe in the lead and the protagonist bringing up the rear. As they flew just behind Yin Yu, Sushu let out a sigh. Sigh? Her sigh caught Yin Yu's attention. Yin Yu slowed her pace. She turned and asked, Sushu, is something on your mind? Yong Ning, drawing closer to hear their conversation, was taken aback. I was just thinking about this entrance trial. I think I'm just going to give up. Dejected, Sushu glanced away, telling herself not to cause a scene. The Sect master seems very strict, but he's a good person. Yin Yu said, trying to console her. Little did they know, the very person they were talking about was flying right behind them. I'm not a good person at all. What a couple of naive girls. Despite Yin Yu's comforting words, Sushu didn't feel any better. The problem is me. My physical constitution. It's just not suited for cultivation. Once I know you're all settled in, I can leave in peace. But Yin Yu wouldn't give up. The Sect Master will help you. Seeing Yin Yu's persistence, Sushu forced a stiff smile. I think I'll go down the mountain and find a manual labor job. That's what's really best for me. This sect is dirt poor. It can't be easy for the Sect Master, either. Hearing this from behind, Yong Ning was moved to tears. Sniffle. Finally, someone who understands me. Dusk began to fall over the massive mountain range. The three figures rested for a moment before taking to the air again. First, let's catch up with the others. A cool breeze whispered through the mountains. They all leaped into the air. At last, the group made it to the summit. The female disciples walked forward, gazing at the peak before them. It still towered high above. Amidst the majestic, rocky landscape, Luo Schwe stood on a rocky outcrop, staring intently at the cliff face. The wind whipped past, making her white cloak billow around her. The other disciples began to chatter amongst themselves. Why did everyone stop here? One of them asked. This chasm doesn't look that hard to cross. But another disciple immediately shot her down. This cliff is weird. The moment you try to jump, a powerful gust of wind just appears out of nowhere. Yin Yu, standing nearby with her hands on her hips, added, only senior sisterling made it across. Everyone else who tried has failed. But then Yin Yu paused, scratching her head in confusion. Wind? It's perfectly normal for there to be wind on a cliff. Hearing this, a flicker of hope ignited in Luo Schwe. Junior sisters, try again, she commanded. The disciples behind her were quick to obey. Yes, senior sister. We'll do our best. With that, two figures shrouded themselves in protective chi and flew straight toward the opposite cliff. Everything seemed perfectly normal until they reached the middle of the chasm when a powerful gale erupted. The wind was so strong that loose rocks began to shower down from the cliff face. The two of them screamed. Their protective auras shattered. The wind blasted them straight back toward the group. They landed hard on their butts. After a moment to recover, they staggered to their feet, panting heavily. Are you okay? Sushu rushed forward to help one of them up. The girl didn't answer her question, only managing to say, that wind, it's malevolent. It's bone-chillingly cold. So this is the Wuji sect. It truly is an ancient sect. I never imagined the entrance trial would be this difficult. From the back of the group, Yong Ning watched everything unfold. A sense of unease crept over him. This isn't good. Something feels very wrong. Yin Yu stood quietly in the back, observing for another moment. Then, she stepped forward decisively. Let me give it a try. My movement skills aren't half bad. She said it as a statement of fact, not a request for permission. As soon as she finished speaking, she channeled her protective chi and leapt toward the cliff face, leaving everyone behind, stunned and unable to react. Hey, don't be so rash. Ignoring the shouts behind her, Yin Yu flew straight ahead. As she soared past the cliffside, a gentle breeze swept by. The trees bent into graceful arcs, painting a breathtakingly beautiful scene. But Yin Yu didn't slow down. Her gaze was resolute. With each step, she pushed off to gain more momentum. Every time, she launched herself forward. The sound of her clothes slicing through the air echoed. The target cliff was just ahead. Behind her, the female disciples who witnessed it all were filled with awe. Junior sister Yin Yu is truly incredible. Her movement technique is amazing. She might just be the second person to make it across. However, just when everything seemed to be going smoothly, a volley of boulders and an entire tree shot up from the abyss below. They rocketed upwards, aiming straight for Yin Yu. The sudden appearance of the boulders and the tree stunned Yin Yu. Then, something even more astonishing happened. A gale so powerful it completely blinded her erupted, and Yin Yu's figure simply vanished. The wind continued to barrel towards the group of female disciples. They panicked. This is bad. This gust is even stronger than the last one. As for Yin Yu, she had been swept away before she even knew what was happening. By the time she realized it, her body was no longer under her control. She struggled in vain, flailing her arms and legs frantically. Help me. The sudden fall sent everyone into a panic. Even Yong Ning was frozen in shock for a moment. But before he could make a move, Luo Schwe had already launched herself after her. Seeing this, Yong Ning stopped. He didn't follow. Just seconds later, Luo Schwe caught Yin Yu, gently guiding her back to safety. Yin Yu lay in her senior sister's arms. trembling all over. So cold. This feels awful. Seeing her junior sister in such a state, Luo Schwe comforted her softly. It's okay now. You're safe. Seeing that even Yin you couldn't make it across. The others grew even more disheartened and panicked. This cliff is too dangerous. There's no way we can cross it. Senior sister, what do we do now? After a moment of thought, the female disciples finally came to a decision. Senior sister, don't worry about us. Please, just go on ahead. We'll figure something out ourselves. But hearing this, Luo Schwe couldn't help her anger from flaring. Quiet. That's enough out of you. I have a way. From what I can tell, this Gale has an immense resistance. Her eyes flashed with keen insight. Her expression was serious as she made her assessment. Forget the 6th level of the martial realm. If you haven't entered the spirit realm, you can't break through it. I can't just instantly raise your cultivation levels to overpower this Gale. So my only choice is to sever the wind itself. Sushu was still baffled by her words. Sever it? How can you sever the wind? But Luo Schwe had already shot towards the cliff, much to her junior sister's surprise. But instead of trying to push all the way across like before, Luo Schwe stopped right in the middle of the chasm. There's a formation here. If I can just sever this formation, I can quell these violent winds, and all of you can cross safely. Luo Schwe turned back to her junior sisters, speaking as she shrouded her body in qi. Streams of energy converged around her, pulling the levitating boulders in the air along with them. Yong Ning, still in disguise, stood behind them and heard everything. A small smile touched his lips. She really is a genius. It only took her a moment to figure out the key to the problem. After letting the others know the situation, Luo Schwe turned and aimed straight for the bottom of the abyss. Her body moved so fast it left only a blue afterimage. Senior sister, one of the junior sisters on the ground, cried out, Senior sister, you have to be careful. The other girls stared into the pitch-black abyss below, shouting down their warnings. Suddenly, a strange, dark energy began to converge deep within the chasm. Whatever they saw down there, it struck fear into their hearts, their faces paling in terror. This formation, it carries an immense aura of destruction, said Shenair. Beside her, Yinyu remained silent, but her expression revealed she shared the same dread. As everyone's attention was fixated on the strange, dark energy radiating from below, the ground began to tremble. Stones crashed against each other with a deafening rumble. What's happening? An earthquake? A disciple stammered. From the back, Yong Ning felt the ground tremble and knew instantly what was happening. A terrible feeling washed over him. This is bad. From the depths of the abyss, a cyclone of rock and splintered trees erupted from below, surging towards the junior sisters. Boulders and debris rained down mercilessly. Watch out! The cyclone showed no signs of weakening. In fact, it was growing stronger by the second. Everyone started to panic. This is so sudden. What's going on? What in the world is happening? The black bird, circling above, saw the storm intensifying, growing more violent with each passing moment. It swooped down toward the girls. Ling Luo Schwe has really done it now. She could have passed through this trial alone, but she refused to leave you behind. So she deliberately provoked the spirit formation. The ground beneath their feet began to crack and splinter at an alarming rate. Huge chunks of rock, torn loose by the cyclone, rained down on them. Now, she's not the only one who's doomed. This storm will soon swallow everything here. You all need to run. Now! The black bird shrieked, but its words were met only with panic. What do we do now? The situation was spiraling out of control. But Sushu and Yinyu didn't budge, remaining frozen in place. No, I have to go save senior sister. We can't just leave her behind. Seeing their resolve, the blackbird was at a loss. It didn't know how to convince them. This wind formation can destroy the very heavens and earth. The formation's spirit has gone berserk. The very fabric of space around us is being torn apart. Not even a grandmaster of formations could break this now. Why aren't you running? Are you trying to get yourselves killed? It shrieked, dodging the falling rocks as Yong Ning silently observed the entire scene. He had heard the entire exchange without saying a word. He moved toward the edge of the cliff. Then, whether by accident or design, he seemed to lose his footing in a move that looked all too real. Yong Ning lost his footing and plunged straight down into the swirling winds of the abyss. Whoa! I slipped. His arms and legs flailed wildly. Sushu, standing behind him, watched in shock. Ignoring the danger, she lunged forward, stretching out a hand to try and catch him. Sushu screamed in terror. She rushed forward. Heedless of the danger, she threw herself toward the cliff's edge. Reaching out, "Junior brother, grab my hand." Yong Ning's eyes widened in feigned surprise. Though in truth, it was all part of his plan. He kept up the act, feigning weakness. My arm. It's gone numb." As he spoke, his hands flailed just out of her reach. Sushu stared, dumbfounded, as he fell from sight. She couldn't believe it. Behind her, the other female disciples started to whisper, completely bewildered. "How'd he fall down there? Is that guy a fool? Of all times to be pushing to the front." As they whispered, the one they spoke of became a blur, shooting down into the abyss at breakneck speed. The wind howled, tearing through the sky. By now, the junior sisters could barely stand against the force. Yong Ning knew exactly how dire the situation was. He clenched his fists, pouring all his strength into his descent. His cloak billowed, obscuring his face. Only his silhouette was visible as he neared the bottom of the chasm. After a moment, Yong Ning finally neared the abyss floor. There, a stone slab glowed with intricate, luminous markings. His eyes widened, his expression hardening as he stared at the stone. A five-pointed sigil carved upon it was radiating beams of energy in all directions. It was the source of the raging vortex, with Luo Schwe trapped at its very center. Exhausted, she struggled against the immense pressure of the wind formation. She screamed in agony. His body trembled. His face was pale as he gritted his teeth. Hearing the scream, Yong Ning tensed up and shot downwards like an arrow. On the great rock below, an antenna-like object emitted streams of golden lightning, powering three massive, swirling tornadoes. It was that strange antenna that was conjuring the tornadoes one by one. Now, three immense vortexes encircled the rock. As he flew closer, he brought his hands above his head, forming a triangle. He muttered something in a mysterious language. A circle of runes expanded outward from Yong Ning's hands. He stared at the formation, his gaze sharp and deadly. A blast of energy, like a cannonball, shot from the circle straight toward the formation's core. High above, Yong Ning's body was enveloped in a strange light. The light was so brilliant it illuminated the dark abyss as if the sun itself had appeared. But its very brightness was what caught Luo Schwe's attention. She stood there, in the eye of the storm, a worried look on her face. She stared in shock at Yong Ning. "You." But Yong Ning didn't answer. He plummeted like a meteor, crashing right into the center. The entire chasm shook. Dust billowed everywhere. Debris flew through the air. A few fragments fell onto the formation's core, but the starstone itself was unscathed. When the dust settled, Yong Ning's figure came into view. He was face down on the ground. His clothes were filthy. Cracks began to spread from where he lay. From there, the rock began to fracture uncontrollably, with a series of loud cracks. The fissures grew larger, spreading across the entire surface. Huge chunks of rock could no longer hold and began to plummet into the abyss. The ground was gone, collapsing entirely before their eyes. Meanwhile, Luo Schwe landed on one of the remaining rock platforms directly across from Yong Ning. "Hey, of all the places to fall, you had to land right on the formation's eye?" At that moment, Yong Ning was still reeling from the faceplant, an accident caused by Luo Schwe, leaving him unable to properly defend himself. "I just slipped and fell. How did I manage to hit the formation's eye? My face hurt so much." Feeling responsible, Luo Schwe couldn't just stand by and watch. She launched herself toward Yong Ning. And this time, the beauty was saving the hero. She caught him and flew back toward the others on solid ground. How strange. The force of your landing was immense. It was actually strong enough to destroy the formation's core. I kept saying I needed to lose weight. Guess I don't need it anymore. As she held Yong Ning, Luo Schwe could feel an incredible weight from him, the presence of a supreme being. "You really are quite heavy. Let's get back up top." As the people above saw the sky clear up, they were confused. The tornadoes, why did they just disappear? Yong Ning's bird flew toward them and announced, "The formation has been broken." Everyone was stunned, unable to believe it was over so quickly. The ancient void array, Isn't that something even a formation grandmaster couldn't break? How was it destroyed just like that? This array was way more powerful than anything back at the sect. Yinyu, however, didn't overthink it. She was certain of one thing. It must be the sect masters will protecting us. To repay our sect master's kindness, I'll have to do something for him when I get back tonight. A moment later, Luo Schwe landed safely with Yong Ning, its senior sister. The moment they saw her, they showered her with praise and admiration. Senior sister, you're amazing, senior sister. You not only destroyed the void array, but you also saved this sister. But she quickly explained, it wasn't me. This sister here accidentally crashed into the formation's core. That's what made it collapse. The crowd grew curious and asked, the core was destroyed, just like that? Can you tell us what happened? I don't know anything. My head's been throbbing ever since I hit it. The bird immediately flew over and announced, I hereby declare that this sister is disqualified from the trial. Everyone else will depart immediately. Yong Ning shot a death glare at the bird. You damn bird, what the hell is this for? Unsatisfied with this outcome, Luo Schwe immediately objected. But before she could finish, it cut her off. I am the one who enforces the rules. Her trial is over. The rest of you move out. At that, she finally gave up and turned to Yong Ning. Thank you for saving me, big sister. If I ever get the chance, I will be sure to repay you. Big sister, may I ask your name? But he immediately refused. There's no need. We're all just wanderers out here. Our paths cross by chance. There's no need for names. If we're fated to, we'll meet again. And if not, then knowing won't make a difference. But hearing that, Hanner felt something was off and began to question everything. That tone of voice, it sounds so familiar. Not wanting to linger, they began to hurry her along. Senior sister, let's go. Luo Schwe didn't hesitate and left with them. Before leaving for good, Luo Schwe didn't forget to offer a final word to Yong Ning. Take care, big sister. As soon as she finished speaking, Luo Schwe and the others leaped forward, vanishing into the air. But little did Luo Schwe know that the big sister was actually Yong Ning in disguise. Not a bad performance, big sister. And with his Hollywood-worthy act complete, he pulled down his hood. And you have the nerve to say you weren't acting? What if they found me out and thought I was some kind of pervert? The creature, however, seemed to think there was nothing wrong with its logic. What misunderstanding? You already are one. As a master of a sect, it's already wrong for you to be participating in their trial. You need to leave. Yong Ning then revealed something to it. Faye told me something big happened. I came because I had to deal with this, and now I have to go. The creature then casually perched on his head, earning a scowl from him. Luo Schwe isn't one to act on pure emotion. Forcing that formation, she's too sentimental. She'll suffer for it. As it finished speaking, Yong Ning gave it his usual judgmental stare. I know. You nosy bird. The warm rays of the sun shone down below, creating a majestic mountain vista that was both poetic and peaceful. A gentle breeze swept along the path where Luo Schwe and the other disciples walked. The group pressed onward, never stopping to rest. This mountain didn't look that high. I can't believe we've been climbing all day. While the others were completely wiped out, Luo Schwe calmly kept a steady pace ahead. I'm exhausted. I'm starting to wonder if Senior Sister Luo is some kind of machine. She doesn't look the least bit tired. Everyone silently agreed. Yeah, seriously. She's been the one clearing the path for us the whole time. On their journey, they had faced countless obstacles. But as their senior sister, Luo Schwe had stepped up and handled them all. She had cut down the ferocious eagles that dared to block their path. And she had cleared a safe path for everyone to continue. Under her protection, every demonic beast that appeared was swiftly sent to its grave. As they walked, the disciples started to wonder and complain. Isn't this entrance trial a little too easy? What do you mean? Although Sushu didn't know much about immortal arts, even she could tell something was off. Something's not right. It's been way too easy. Everything we've faced has been well within Senior Sister's ability to handle. What's wrong with the trial going smoothly? We'll have a place in the sect soon, so stop overthinking things. Sushu then turned to tease Yinyu. In the sect master's words, this is what you call setting up. A flag. Another girl, completely innocent, didn't understand and asked back. What the hell is a flag? More importantly, sister, have you been secretly meeting up with the sect master behind our backs? Hearing this, another disciple started teasing Yinyu. What's this? Looks like junior sister Yinyu's man. is about to get snatched away. Lele couldn't stand it and shot back. What do you mean, junior sister Yenyu's? The sect master belongs to all of us. Everyone has a chance. Sushu couldn't let them get the wrong idea and quickly explained. We didn't secretly meet up. I just happened to run into the sect master on the road yesterday, and we just exchanged a few words. That's all. Since she put it that way, Yenyu no longer had any reason to be suspicious. Fine, I'll believe you this time. Let's get going. We're almost there. No longer standing around to chat, the group continued on their way. However, they had only walked a short distance when a massive cloud of gray smoke materialized before them. Sensing something was wrong, Luo Schwe raised her hand. Stop. Sushu's eyes followed Luo Schwe as she slowly stepped forward, a strange feeling creeping over her. Senior sister's expression, it's not right. A sense of deep unease filled Sushu, and she warned the others. Be careful. Did she find something? Lele also stared blankly in Luo Schwe's direction, the exact same thought crossing her mind. This isn't like her at all. The enormous gray cloud showed no signs of dissipating, and in fact, began to spread even wider. Sushu stared at the surreal scene before her, utterly bewildered. But it's not even dark yet. Where did this fog come from? It's just one thing after another. They'd only just found safety, and now they were facing a new, hidden danger. Looks like they drew the short straw. A skeleton soldier suddenly appeared, charging towards them like a vengeful god. Its eyes were filled with a murderous aura, as if it wanted to devour everyone here alive. Lele, though startled, quickly regained her composure, drawing her sword in defense. But Luo Schwe remained ice-cold, her gaze fearless as she stepped forward. Without a moment's hesitation, she unleashed a razor-sharp strike that split the skeleton soldier in two. Her movements were decisive and clean, without a single wasted motion. Seeing the immediate threat dealt with, Sun Shu let out a sigh of relief. Those skeleton soldiers are all bark and no bite. They aren't particularly strong. Senior sister is so strong, but her expression is still terrifyingly serious. But there was a reason for Luo Schwe's taut expression. She knew that more danger was hiding behind that veil of mist. Everyone on your guard. Prepare for battle. The moment she finished speaking, another skeleton soldier lunged at them, ready to attack. And it wasn't just one, but many, an entire army of skeleton soldiers, lying in wait to ambush them. Luo Schwe's face darkened, her voice turning grave. Everyone, grip your swords tightly. They were now surrounded, with skeleton soldiers closing in from all sides. They looked ferocious, like a pack of starving tigers about to pounce and tear them to shreds. Although they were surrounded on all sides, they resolved to fight with everything they had. They're coming. Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. They decided to put everything they had into this fight. Let's do this. Sun Shu, unskilled in swordsmanship, was disarmed almost immediately. Her face was a mask of bewilderment, unable to process what had just happened or react in time. The skeleton soldier naturally seized the opportunity, lunging forward while she was stunned. But before it could even lay a finger on Sun Shu, its head was sent flying. Luo Schwe immediately stepped in front of Sun Shu, determined to protect her at all costs. Get back. From within the mist, the skeleton soldiers moved relentlessly. She suddenly felt overwhelmed. Luo Schwe couldn't handle them all alone. She needed everyone's help. We can't stay here. Break through with me. Meanwhile, Yong Ning's bird was perched on a branch, observing everything. This is wrong. Impossible. So many skeleton soldiers. This isn't some entry-level trial. It's a destroy all intruders protocol. Intruders. We're screwed. It's all that bastard Yi Yang's fault. He shattered the ancient Grand Formation and triggered the intruder extermination mechanism. This is a disaster. Quick, just break through. I made a huge mistake. I shouldn't have sent Yi Yang away. By the time I get down the mountain and call for help, it'll be too late. They'll be dead several times over before Yi Yang even gets here. This is bad. Hurry, go. Senior sister. Meanwhile, everyone was still struggling against the ant-like swarm of skeleton soldiers. At the summit of the mountain, in stark contrast to the serene and picturesque landscape, Luo Schwe and her fellow disciples were facing a calamity. They were now confronting an entire legion of skeleton soldiers. The creatures were forcing them closer and closer to the cliff's edge. These skeleton soldiers seemed to be empowered somehow, making them incredibly difficult to deal with, and their overwhelming numbers put the group at a severe disadvantage. This was going to be an incredibly tough fight. Luo Schwe was growing desperate. What do we do? Damn it. A sea of skeleton skulls. As always, Luo Schwe stepped forward to ensure everyone else's safety. All of you get behind me. Senior sister, we advance and retreat together. Let's give it our all. The hot-headed skeleton soldiers charged forward without a moment's hesitation, although the others' swordsmanship couldn't compare to Luo Schwe's. They were a team, and they were determined to stand by her side, despite her small and cute appearance. Yin fought with the heart of a berserker, charging to the front lines to join the fray. Each of them gripped their swords tightly, swinging with clean, sharp strokes as if they were slicing fruit. The horde of skeletons surged forward all at once, creating an overwhelming and chaotic scene. Luo Schwe was determined to guarantee their absolute safety, even if it meant staying behind to buy them time. None of you are allowed to die. I'll hold back this sea of skulls. You all climb down from the cliff. You have to live. But Yin couldn't bear to leave her, insisting on fighting shoulder to shoulder with Luo Schwe. Senior sister, I want to stay and fight the sea of skulls with you. Lu Qing also disagreed with Luo Schwe's plan. She was determined to live or die with them. No way, senior sister. If we go together. Honor felt the same way, refusing to let anyone be left behind. That's right. If we go together. We'll take down as many as we can. And so, after a moment of shared resolve, they all remained, determined to fight together to the very last second. Just then, at that incredibly tense moment, the jade pendant Yong Ning had given Han air began to glow. She looked down, startled by its brilliant light. Before Han Air could even understand what was happening, the jade pendant fell to the ground. When the skeleton soldiers saw the glowing jade on the ground, they froze in their tracks. It suddenly pulsed with a bright green light, crackling with arcs of electricity. After gathering enough energy, the pendant unleashed its power, creating a deafening explosion that bathed everything in a blinding white light. Luo Schwe stood frozen for a solid 5 seconds, staring blankly at the scene before her. No one could explain how, in the blink of an eye, the tables had completely turned. What has happened? I have no idea. Suddenly, from within the wisps of smoke and mist, a familiar silhouette began to emerge. All eyes turned. They stared ahead, trying to see what kind of entity it was. But the person who appeared before them was no stranger. It was Yong Ning. He then sat bolt upright, his eyes half-lidded and dazed, looking like he'd just been roused from a deep sleep. I was sleeping so soundly. Who brought me here? It was only then that Han Air remembered something incredibly important. I remember now. Last night, the Sect master shoved a jade pendant into my hands. He said, just in case. So this thing is a teleportation device. Everyone stared, shocked from one surprise to the next, like deer in headlights. Meanwhile, the skeleton soldiers showed no sign of stopping and charged at them with renewed vigor. Even as the attacks barreled toward him, he remained perfectly still, looking completely unfazed. Luo Schwe, seeing the imminent danger, screamed a warning. Sectmaster, look out! But Yong Ning maintained a sleepy, utterly bored expression, as if he didn't have a care in the world. The next second, he instantly vanished into thin air. This left the skeleton soldiers utterly bewildered. Their spears struck the spot where he had been sitting, but he was nowhere to be found. Yong Ning's nonchalant expression was because, to him, these small fry weren't even on his level. You undead creatures. All of you. Your biggest weakness is that you're just too slow. Before anyone knew it, Yong Ning was already perched on a nearby rock. He stood with his arms crossed, looking completely relaxed as he made a casual remark. But, I guess I'll play with you for a bit. Meanwhile, in a desolate place, dry, guttural growls echoed through the gloomy space. Wave after wave of skeleton soldiers staggered forward, their eyes glowing red. In unison, they raised their weapons to attack. Seeing this, Luo Schwe cried out in alarm. This is bad. Sectmaster, be careful. Yong Ning remained motionless, like a statue in the middle of the battlefield. He paid no mind to her warning. Suddenly, a sharp, piercing sheen rang out. It startled him, his eyes snapping open. The skeleton soldiers continued to surge forward like a tide. Ignoring them all, he stood up. He casually walked toward the mysterious circle on the ground. His sudden move left the disciples around him stunned. They stared blankly, unable to comprehend what was happening. Just then, a sharp iron rod shot into the sky like an arrow. Yong Ning's hands moved slightly. It seemed as if he intended to catch it in midair. However, the iron rod plummeted back to earth with incredible speed. It embedded itself deep into the cold ground. Before he could even get to it, it was firmly planted in the earth. He stepped forward, gripped the rod, and pulled hard. At that very moment, a strange creature, weapon in hand, dived down from above. Yong Ning spoke coolly. So, there's still new creatures showing up. It let out a furious roar. It lunged forward, seething with killing intent. At that moment, the whoosh of a weapon cut through the air. Yong Ning spun the iron rod in his hand. He created a vortex of power that shot upward, striking the creature as it dove from the sky. The move made the entire horde of skeletons freeze. A flicker of shock appeared in their blazing red eyes. Yong Ning continued to spin the rod. The power continued to build. Suddenly, with a sharp whoosh, he swung it in a wide arc. He sent all the surrounding skeletons flying. In an instant, they were all sliced in two. At that moment, a thick, gray smoke rose up, obscuring everyone's vision. Yong Ning stood silently amidst the strong wind. From the other side, a disciple cried out in panic. "Oh no! Senior sister, the skeletons over there are attacking." Yong Ning heard them. A flicker of alarm crossed his face. He tightened his grip on the iron rod. A murderous glint flared in his eyes. Instantly, he charged into the fray. Each blow landed like a clap of thunder. From his hands, continuous waves of power erupted, forming a vortex that slammed into the army of the dead. He then waved his hand, casting a spell. The energy radiating from the iron rod suddenly blazed with a brilliant light, more intense than ever before. Beams of magical light shot directly at the skeleton soldiers, tearing through their rotten flesh and making them shriek in agony. The light spread wider and wider, pushing everything back. His disciples, standing behind him, could only stare in stunned silence. In just a single moment, thousands of skeleton soldiers were incinerated into dust by the light. The ashes rose, forming a hazy smoke that enveloped the gray sky. Seeing the spectacle before her, Sushu couldn't help but exclaim, "That's just insane." Yinyu immediately replied, her voice filled with confidence. "With the Sect master here, we have nothing to fear." Hearing this, Luo Schwe's gaze remained filled with anxiety. This is bad. The number of skeletons is still increasing. They're preparing for an all-out assault. Everyone, give the Sect master your full support. As soon as she finished speaking, from all directions, countless skeleton soldiers and other strange creatures descended from the sky. They swarmed like a black tide, completely blotting out the sky. However, in the face of this situation, Yong Ning remained perfectly calm. He simply smiled, a calm, yet triumphant smile. He then ascended gracefully into the air, positioning himself before the frenzied, onrushing tide of skeletons. He brought his 4 fingers together, creating a mystical glow. The light grew more and more brilliant, while simultaneously radiating an ever-increasing power. A sphere of light took shape. It too grew larger and larger. Yong Ning poured all his strength into it, and threw the sphere high into the air. It erupted with light, blinding the entire area. In a distant field, a farmer planting rice looked up, sighing, "Man, this is exhausting." He then glanced up at the sky. His eyes went wide, in terror. What in the world is that? Is the sun falling? Yong Ning's sphere of light continued to plummet, getting closer and closer to the ground. Directly beneath that halo of light, he activated a basic priest skill, and then instantly unleashed his ultimate move, Divine Light Guides the Way. Level 100, maxed out. The light swept across the horde of skeletons gathered below, incinerating one rotting corpse after another. They had no time to flee, only enough to let out agonizing screams, before quickly turning to dust. The last of the skeletons were finally defeated. A sea of fire erupted from the sphere of light, engulfing the land and creating a swirling gray smoke that spread everywhere. The scene was at once majestic and devastating. The remaining embers and charred rubble, pattered against the ground, making a continuous, clattering sound that seemed to have no end. Finally, they lay still, as if the skeleton army itself was bowing in submission before Yong Ning. The battle was over. A gentle breeze began to blow, drifting past where he and his disciples stood, bringing a rare sense of peace after the storm. Sushu spoke, her voice filled with disbelief. I'm not dreaming, am I? Is it really over just like that? The crowd murmured amongst themselves. So the sea of withering skulls was real after all? It's so empty beyond this mountain. Another replied, of course. The Sect Master's light can purify anything. He's so cool. Yong Ning slowly walked to the cliff's edge. He gazed up at the heavens and down at the earth below, lost in thought for a long moment. Behind him, Luo Schwe knelt. She spoke with sincerity. Thank you for saving us, honored Sect Master. I suppose this means we've failed the trial. Hearing this, his voice was gentle, yet firm. You persevered through disaster to make it this far. I value your spirit and strength. Facing grave danger, you were willing to die to protect your comrades. That is the quality I seek in a disciple. Therefore, I now declare that from this day forward, you're all members of the Wuji sect. If anyone dares to cause trouble for you in the future, I will protect you to the very end. Luo Schwe heard his words, stunned for a long moment. Then, she and her comrades cried out in unison. Thank you, Master. He let out a soft chuckle, his gaze softening. You've done well. You've all been through a lot. Get some rest. We'll set out afterward. At this, everyone's faces lit up with joy. Yes, Master. They all rose to their feet, their eyes turning toward the distant horizon. As dusk settled, the group took the opportunity to rest, preparing for the journey ahead. Suddenly, a bird flew in, landing on a branch and speaking. What did you sneak me over here for? Hearing it speak, he asked, Tell me, how many of them do you think have what it takes to be my core disciple? The bird snorted, its tone dripping with sarcasm. Oh, first, you complained about them endlessly, and now you're already trying to cherry-pick the best ones to be your core disciples? Yong Ning sighed, a weary look on his face. It's a huge pain to make the sect the best in the world. I was hoping to find 7 core disciples, so I could get back to my carefree life sooner. Hearing this, the bird began to tease him again. Why don't you spend just lazing around? The trial for a Wuji sect core disciple is on the level of a heavenly tribulation. Only Luo Schwe has a chance of passing. He seemed to agree with this assessment. Well, one is a good start. The important thing is that someone can finally take over the sect's grand enterprise. The bird tilted its head, looking down at him. It asked, So, what are your arrangements for them? At the question, Yong Ning rubbed his chin in thought for a moment. Then he said slowly, I'll assign them tasks based on their strengths. The obedient ones can handle the cooking and laundry. The strong ones can give me massages. The ones with nice figures can be my personal dancers. And the witty ones can be my personal comedians to keep me entertained. The moment the words left his mouth, the bird exploded with rage. It flew over and delivered a swift, painful kick to his head. Are you some kind of tyrant? They came here. Yong Ning rubbed his head, trying to defend himself. Taking good care of the sect master is a form of training. He argued, You have no sense of humor. I'll help them train to become masters of all professions. Like magical girl sword saints. Or yin-yang masters. The bird was silent for a moment. Then it narrowed its eyes. Wait a sec. Why are they all kneeling again? Yong Ning started, and reflexively whipped his head around to where the bird was looking. All the disciples were kneeling on the ground. Luo Schwe came forward. Master, she said calmly, I have finally fulfilled my promise to you. I have led our people to a new home. We found a good master. Finally, we won't have to wander around and get bullied anymore. Her words made him think. How nice they sounded. Then, she spoke again. So the next step is, I'm finally strong enough to avenge you, Master. Hearing this, Yong Ning froze as if struck by lightning, so shocked he nearly coughed up blood. Sushu quickly interjected. Her voice was filled with panic. Master is just missing. We don't know if he's alive or dead. Isn't it too soon to be talking about revenge? It could have just been a natural disaster. But Xiner immediately shot back. He never allowed us to call him Master. He said fate had arranged for us to have a real master. He probably knew some villain was going to betray him. And Yang Lele, standing nearby, added her 2 cents. If I ever find that scoundrel, I'll beat the hell out of him. As their chatter grew louder, Yong Ning could only stand there motionless. His face was like stone, overwhelmed by a sense of utter helplessness. Yin turned and whispered to Luo Schwe, "We finally have a place to call home. You can finally sleep peacefully and have sweet dreams, senior sister." Luo Schwe smiled. She gently patted the younger girl's head. "Silly girl," she replied softly. "You silly goose." The next morning, at the Sect gate, a bell rang continuously. The sound echoed, throwing the area into a commotion. A disciple looked around and asked, "Senior sister isn't here yet?" Yin frowned, muttering to herself, "She's never been late before." She glanced back, a thought crossing her mind. Could it be? Before she could finish the thought, a figure rushed toward them like the wind. It was none other than Luo Schwe. As she ran, her heart pounded in her chest. "Oh no, I'm late. I had that dream again." The urgent words echoed in her mind. "Run. Keep running. Don't stop. And don't look back. You have to get out of here. You must not turn back." Her expression hardened, a painful look as if trying to force back a terrible memory. She thought to herself, "It's all in the past. I'm grown up now." Sushu gasped in surprise when she saw her. "Huh?" And Yin shouted, "Senior sister." Luo Schwe was panting, bent over to catch her breath. She bowed her head. "Sorry, I'm late." The others quickly reassured her. "It's okay. The master isn't here yet." Yin walked over. "Senior sister," she asked gently, "did you have that dream again?" No dialogue. Luo Schwe waved a dismissive hand. "No, kids shouldn't be so nosy. Let's go in." With that, they all headed inside. Seeing the empty hall, they wondered aloud. Strange. Why isn't the master here yet? Just then, a loud voice echoed from a distance. The Lord was suddenly called away on urgent business. "You don't need to wait." A bird landed before them, and after speaking, it flew off again, leaving a group of disciples chattering in confusion. "The master stood us up on the very first day?" Sushu agreed. "Yeah, this is a bit of a mess." Instead, the bird's voice returned. "We will meet another day." The Sect master instructs Luo Schwe to draft a plan in the meantime. Sect development. Sushu thought to herself, "Man, being the Sect master is way too easy." Luo Schwe nodded. "Got it. First things first, we need to fix the Sect's main gate. And don't worry, I'll put together a proper training plan for everyone." Then, the bird asked, "Does anyone have anything else?" And you quickly spoke up. "I have a question. The Sect master isn't off on a date with some mysterious woman, is he? I bet there are women where he went." The bird said sheepishly. Its answer made everyone's face darken. Luo Schwe could only offer a strained smile. Before anyone else could speak, it raised its voice sternly. "Luo Schwe, do you realize your mistake?" Startled by the question, she asked. It flapped its wings furiously and roared. "I told you not to give the Sect master any spending money, and you secretly gave him some anyway. A man with money in his pocket is bound to get into trouble." Blushing, she answered the bird's accusation. "But I can't bring myself to refuse any of the Sect master's requests." Somewhere else, a rhythmic scratching sound echoed. Clank, clank, clank. The sound of something scraping against stone. Inside a prison cell, a voice shouted, "Let's see. That bastard Yong Ning went to that place again today." Faye muttered, angrily scratching at the wall, muttering curses under her breath. "Leaving a peerless beauty like me to rot in here without a second thought. And for what? To go to that place and chase skirts. Men are all just a bunch of pigs." Finally, she couldn't hold it in any longer and screamed, "I'm so bored I could die in here. Yong Ning, you bastard. Just come back and talk to me." The scene shifts to a place of idyllic natural beauty. Nestled behind a majestic mountain range, a clear blue river winding through the landscape. This is Four Seas City, inside a local tavern. "Welcome to Sanjiang Tavern. Waiter, another jug of wine." A tipsy Yong Ning slurred as he tossed a gold ingot at the owner. "Hey boss, 3 more chicken wing skewers, 5 mutton skewers, a grilled squid, and a bamboo roasted fish." Seeing this, 2 of the cooks commented in amazement. "Sect master Yi was sure putting on a show yesterday. And he's still got the nerve to order more food? Where'd he suddenly get the money?" Overhearing this, 2 customers at a nearby table started whispering. "That deadbeat has owed money for 3 months. He's always mooching free food and drinks. You think he found himself a rich sugar mama?" Overhearing the nasty gossip about him, he immediately roared back. I have never relied on a woman. I am as pure as a snow lotus on a mountain peak. Fine. In that case, Yi Shuilian, don't even think about borrowing another cent from us ever again. He struggled to his feet, swaying unsteadily. 2 jugs of wine still in hand. He slurred. Ah, come on, don't take it so seriously. Friends are supposed to help each other out when they're a little short on cash. Besides, a few coins is a small price to pay to befriend an expert like me. It's a bargain. Another girl, chewing her food, scowled and grumbled. Who want to be friends with a punk like you? TCH. You're probably the weakest person in this whole tavern. Suddenly, a young man strode forward. His voice was grave. I am Feng Hao, his friend, and his brother. While I wasn't here, you bully my brother. Are you all looking to be taught a lesson? Seeing this, Yong Ning glanced over, thinking to himself, ah, the rage against the heavens Chinibyo has arrived. These guys are in for it now. He then strode right up to the girl, a triumphant look on his face. Big sis, looks like you've been packing on the pounds lately. That belt of yours looks like it's about to snap. Without a moment's hesitation, she brought her fist down on Feng Hao's head and screamed, Go die. Don't think that just because your father is the vice lord of 4 Seas City, you can run your mouth like that. Feng Hao collapsed to the floor. He ruffled his own hair and muttered, Violent women are so damn scary. Suddenly, he turned his head, his sharp gaze fixed on the table behind him. The man sitting there jumped. He broke out in a cold sweat. Then, Feng Hao spoke up. Senior brother Zhao, after 5 years of cultivation with 0 progress, I hear you even have to call a junior martial uncle now. If I were you, his words hit the man named Zhao like a ton of bricks, leaving him flustered. I would have given up on cultivation a long time ago. Just go home and be a farmer. The jab struck a nerve, and the man froze, unable to respond. Then, Feng Hao walked over to a woman and said, Andy, still flying solo? Must be lonely getting old all by yourself. His teasing words clearly irritated the woman. After making his rounds, he turned to Yi Yongning. Brother, same as always. I'm paying. Too bad that tattletale didn't show up today. Hearing this, Yi Yongning replied, My bad. Thanks. The woman from before, seeing this, gripped her knife in frustration. That's not fair. How come you never mess with him? Instead, he turned back and replied, What do you know? Big Brother Yi and I are kindred spirits. We're both loyal fans of the legend of Junyang. With that, he turned back to his friend. The gentle Xiao Yu is number 1, right? Yi Yongning didn't answer, only smiling to himself. Huh, he thought to himself. You're just a kid. What do you know? Obviously, the sexy and fiery Junyang is the most captivating one. Feng Hao turned to the owner. It's a shame that Bookworm only has eyes for that cold, long-legged Lung Feng. He has absolutely no taste. Boss, pack this up to go, and put my big brother's tab on my bill, too. Hearing that, the owner replied cheerfully, No problem, and a complimentary jug of wine for Big Brother Yi. Yi Yongning smiled, extremely pleased. The person next to him commented, Man, that must be rough. It must be so hard on you, Big Brother Yi. He replied, You have no idea. Mentoring disciples is... The moment I leave, they're all completely lost. As he was picking up a piece of food, crack, his chopstick snapped. It startled him. A worried expression crossed his face. He looked at the broken chopstick and thought, This is bad. A terrible omen. Which one of my disciples is in trouble? Within the inner sect, gentle sunbeams filtered through the leaves, painting a poetic scene on the ground below. Inside, Yi Yongning's disciples were gathered around Luo Schwe, talking nonstop. The northern central section of the city has sustained 70% damage. The worst of it is the South Hall. There's a massive crater there now. Lu Qing spoke up, his voice low and steady. The access tunnels are too damaged in multiple places, so a full investigation is impossible. Hearing this, Luo Schwe nodded slightly and said, The cost to repair the Sect's gate will be enormous. We'll tackle this in 3 phases. First, we repair the living quarters. We'll earn the money ourselves, and no one is to tell Master about this. Just then, Yin burst in, panting as she yelled, Senior sister, there's news about junior sister Nanguan's group. She said, They're still alive. Luo Schwe was taken aback, unable to hide her surprise. She asked again, What? Seeing this, Lu Qing also spoke up. After Eternal Sword Peak collapsed, all 5 of them went missing. Where are they now? Yin clutched her chest, gasping for air. She struggled to reply. They're trapped in Tianyan Ridge, a place where demons roam freely. It's an extremely dangerous part of the wasteland city. We just received their distress call. Suddenly, one of them asked, "Should we ask the Sect master for help?" Hearing that, Ling Luoyi stood up and answered, "No need. I can handle this myself. That place is too dangerous. I won't let anyone die in vain. All of you just stay here and wait. I'll bring them back." She says. In a mountain range covered by a sea of green, something leaped swiftly from branch to branch. Luo Schwe clutched the blue talisman in her hand, her thoughts racing. "My sisters will be all right. They have to be. Junior sister Nangguan, you have to hold on. I know that no matter the situation, you'll always do your best to protect everyone." But as she thought this, a flood of childhood memories rushed back to her. She immediately recalled what she once said as a child. "Master, I don't like her." Seeing the new junior sister, the master asked why. She replied, "Our sword sect is founded on the principle of attack. What is she doing in our sect if all she wants to learn is defense?" Hearing this, her master answered softly. She said that it's because I'm a good person. Hearing this, her face showed clear confusion as she asked, "A good person? What kind of standard is that?" Her master spoke calmly. "Actually, the Nangguan family is one of the 4 great clans of the Ziyuan kingdom. She could have had many other choices." With that, she turned to look at Nangguan, who was fearfully hugging her large dog. Suddenly, a voice spoke up. "Your father, General Nangguan, died protecting the Ziyuan kingdom." He continued, "You are the daughter of the previous family head, yet you are bullied by your own aunts and uncles." Tormented, the woman standing beside him then spoke up. "If we didn't know, we could have ignored it. But now that we know, there is absolutely no way I'm letting you stay in this Nangguan household any longer." Another woman, with an arrogant air, spoke. "My lords, it's not true that we bully her. It's because her character is so rotten. From morning to night, all she does is steal things from the house. When we punish her, we are simply helping her stay on the right path." Hearing this, the man turned to her with a sharp glare and roared, "Shut your mouth. How dare you keep spitting such venomous lies? You people don't even feed her enough. What's wrong with a starving child sneaking into the kitchen for scraps?" The woman spoke again. Even when she took food from the kitchen, it wasn't for herself. It was for these crippled dogs, the very dogs that once fought bravely alongside her father. Hearing this rebuttal, the aunt was seething with rage. The woman looked at the dogs, eating heartily, and continued. "She can't even feed herself, and yet she still wants to raise these stray dogs. And you dare slander her, claiming she has a rotten character, after you discovered these old, disabled dogs. You call them a waste of food, and try to kill them. She threw her own body in the way to protect them, and was severely beaten by you all. That's how this whole affair came to light." Hearing this, the aunt was deeply annoyed but couldn't say a word back, only letting out a frustrated sigh. "Oomph." Then the man walked over, gently stroking Nangguan's head. "Good girl. Tell me, which sect do you want to join? Your uncle and auntie here are both peerless masters. You can choose any of our sects." Hugging her dog with one arm, she said shyly. She pointed at the woman standing behind the man and said, "I want to join that big sister's sect." Startled, the woman said hesitantly, "Ah, me?" Ignoring her, the man turned and asked, "Why?" She quickly answered the question. "Because she's a good person. I saw her feeding Big Yellow and the others once." The woman spoke up to explain. "I was passing through here a month ago. I saw these poor, crippled dogs, and gave them a little something to eat on a whim. That doesn't make me a good person, little one. I hear you want to become a protector, a guardian. My sect's focus is on attack. You need to think about this carefully." Hearing this, her eyes welled up with tears as she whispered, "Big sister is a good person. You'll help me become a protector, won't you?" The man then added, "The little one is always saying that the person her father admired most was a protector of this country. It may not be able to protect the whole world, but it hopes to be a guardian. Even if it can only protect one person, that's enough. Since it has chosen you, then you should take it in. I'll take good care of the other dogs. Let her take this one with her, and come with us to the Eternal Sword Peak." Upon hearing this, the master looked at her with sympathetic eyes and replied, "I understand." The master extended his hands to her, a silent invitation, and spoke softly, "Come here." Still frightened, the little girl huddled her small body behind the large dog. Seeing this, the master said nothing more, simply offering her a kind, welcoming smile. At the eternal sword peak, Luo Schwe suddenly shouted, "Are you kidding me? The best defense is a good offense. Being a guardian is meaningless. I have no use for weaklings." Hearing Luo Schwe's words, a terrified Nangguan was at a loss for what to say. During their training, Luo Schwe constantly barked orders at her. "Defend! Left flank!" She swung her sword wildly, sending blades of grass flying with every slash. Meanwhile, a frightened Nangguan used her shield to parry Luo Schwe's relentless attacks. "You have to predict the direction of my next attack." Hearing this, Nangguan trembled as she clutched her shield and replied, "Why yes." One clear, sunny day, with a gentle breeze in the air, Nangguan was sobbing in front of a small grave. Seeing her, Luo Schwe walked over. She asked softly, "Your dog died?" Nangguan replied through her tears, "Sniff, Dahuang is dead." At that, Luo Schwe stood silently, not wanting to deepen Nangguan's sorrow. Realizing she had to do something, she sat down beside her to offer comfort. "It's okay. He's gone now, but you can still protect me. Just think of me as your Dahuang. Protecting me will be enough." Moved beyond words, Nangguan struggled to call out, "Senior sister." Days passed. Nangguan and Luo Schwe continued to train diligently. One day, deep in the forest, they found themselves in peril. Luo Schwe shouted, "There are a lot of wild wolves around here. We need to be careful." Nangguan replied, "Don't worry, senior sister. I'll protect you." And so, day by day, the two of them protected and looked after one another. Back in the present, they were both now adults. Luo Schwe pushed deeper into the forest, searching for Nangguan. Suddenly, she noticed the tracking mark on her talisman was fading. Ping! She thought anxiously, "This is bad. The trail is about to go cold. Nangguan, you have to be okay," she thought, searching frantically. Inside a large cavern, the others were talking amongst themselves in a panic. "We're in trouble. The communication jade is about to fail. Senior sister won't be able to find us now." Seeing their distress, Nangguan tried to calm them. "It's all right. Senior sister will definitely find us. It might just take her a little longer." Another person spoke up. "But senior sister Mai Lu was captured by that monster. What are we going to do? We have to go save her. She won't last much longer." Hearing this, Nangguan spoke up timidly. "What if I go save senior sister Mai Lu?" Immediately, someone objected. "No way, junior sister Nangguan. You have almost no offensive power." In response, she said, "You don't need offensive power to save someone. I'm very agile. I'll get her back here safely. All of you stay here. If things go south, just run." With that, she left as the others called out desperately from below, "Junior sister." They watched her leave, then began to talk among themselves. "I really don't get it. Junior sister Nangguan is so frail. How did she become such an outstanding guardian?" Senior sister once said that she primarily uses her awareness to make up for the shortcomings in her physical strength. Let's hope junior sister Nangguan can pull off a miracle. Trying to rescue senior sister Mai Lu from the lair of a stone giant is incredibly dangerous. Meanwhile, Nangguan landed on a rock ledge, sighing with exhaustion. She pushed herself to climb onto another, higher boulder. Once she reached the top, she couldn't help but whisper, "It's so high up." Her small frame stood firm against the buffeting winds as she wondered what to do next. "Senior sister Mai Lu, where are you?" Looking down, she spotted something and cried out, "There she is." A young woman was leaning weakly against the large rocks. She was trembling, partly from the cold and partly from fear. Seeing this, Nangguan tried to reassure her. "Senior sister Mai Lu, don't be afraid." With that, Nangguan scrambled over the rocks and landed on the ground. Her footsteps echoed with a soft clatter against the stone. She carefully approached Mai Lu, thinking to herself, "Thank the heavens. The monster isn't here." She moved closer and called out, "Senior sister, are you all right?" Seeing her, Mai Lu whispered weakly, "Junior sister Nangguan." Before Mai Lu could finish, she urgently cut in, "We have to get out of here now." Suddenly, the surrounding rocks began to tremble, terrifying them both. She threw Mai Lu's arm over her shoulder and tried to run. The stones around them started to crack and splinter. But instead of falling, they began to merge, forming a colossal monster made of rock. She pulled Mai Lu behind a large boulder, thinking, "This is bad. Why now of all times?" The monster's huge hands were crushing the boulders one by one. Watching the terrifying sight, she thought, "What do I do now? Hold my breath. If it finds us, we're dead." She pulled my Lu closer. It had absorbed nearly all the surrounding rock and was now scanning the area, the air thick with dread. She prayed internally, "Please don't find us." Just as the thought crossed her mind, the monster's enormous face appeared right beside her. Seeing them, it became enraged and shattered the boulder they were hiding behind. Nangguan, carrying my Lu on her back, leaped from the ledge. The monster immediately turned its head, tracking their fall. She hit the ground hard, sliding across the loose rock and sending tremors through the stones around her. The monster roared, blowing a powerful gust of wind in their direction. It caused all the rocks to collapse in an instant. Seeing this, my Lu whispered weakly to Nangguan, "You foolish girl. You're throwing your life away to save me. We can't handle this stone giant." To comfort her senior sister, she replied, "I still have a protective treasure that father left for me." The stone giant was now taking heavy, thundering steps toward the two of them. Nangguan added, "This talisman has a short-term blinding effect. I hope it works." With that, she stood in front of my Lu and threw the talisman. The talisman flew towards the stone creature. It saw the object and stopped, surprised. Suddenly, its vision was filled with a blinding flash of light, and it couldn't see a thing. Unable to see, it clutched its face and roared in frustration. This gave Nangguan the chance she needed to escape. She said, "It can't see anymore. Let's go now." Blinded and enraged, the stone creature began to rampage. It swung its massive arms, smashing the stone floor where they stood. Feeling the ground shake violently, she screamed in panic. "We're done for." A hail of shattered rock flew towards her, and a large chunk slammed straight into her stomach. The impact was so forceful she coughed up blood. Despite the searing pain, Nangguan strained to call out, "Spirit shield." At her command, a large shield materialized, protecting them both. She said, "I'll block with the spirit shield. We keep moving back." The monster, still blind, thrashed about wildly, turning the entire cavern into a chaotic mess. Noticing her sister's condition, she turned and asked, "Are you okay, senior sister?" My Lu replied in a weak voice, "I'm fine." Suddenly, the monster found a massive boulder. Without hesitation, it hurled it in their direction, aiming by sound alone. The boulder crashed down, narrowly missing them thanks to the creature's impaired vision. Nangguan held the shield steady against the onslaught and said, "We just need to get through this passage. Then we'll be out of here. Senior sister my Lu, you have to hold on." The debris was closing in, putting them in grave danger. She thought, "Just a little longer. We can make it out." Suddenly, a rustling sound came from the trees above. It echoed through the cavern. Luo Schwe appeared out of nowhere, flying towards them. She thought worriedly, "Junior sister Nangguan, you have to hold on." Exhausted, Nangguan told herself, "Just a little longer. I can get us out." Suddenly, another rock flew toward them with incredible force. It slammed into the shield with a deafening crack. She managed to block the attack, letting out a ragged sigh of relief. But my Lu was clearly in agony, her face contorted in pain. Suddenly, a loud call came from the distance. "Junior sister." 3 young women descended the nearby path and said, "Junior sister, are you all right?" Seeing them, Nangguan demanded, "Why are you guys here again? Didn't I tell you to stay put?" From high above, a colossal boulder plummeted down, threatening to crush both her and my Lu. It was a projectile hurled by the stone creature, meant to keep her from escaping. The rock was so massive, it blotted out every last ray of light. Seeing this, her sisters cried out in panic. "Junior sister, look out." Nangong Tong sized up the situation in an instant, shoved my Lu out of the way, and yelled, "Sisters, get her to safety. I'll hold it back." With that, she turned to face the massive falling rock, her eyes filled with grim resolve. She mustered every ounce of her strength, raising her shield to meet the blow. The boulder slammed in her iron shield. The impact echoed with a deafening clang. As she struggled to defend herself, she thought, "Nangong Tong, don't be afraid. You can do this. You have to." Suddenly, someone stepped in front of her. "Get back." Seeing this, one of her sisters screamed, her face a mask of terror and worry. Junior sister, with a thunderous crash. A single hand was now holding back the colossal boulder. Nangong Tong's eyes went wide as she stared at the man before her. She asked, bewildered, "Excuse me, who are you?" Yong Ning smirked. He replied with a grin. "Call me master." The boulder he held began to crack. An instant later, it exploded into dust. Nangong Tong's jaw dropped. She couldn't believe he could face that monster without a trace of fear. Her senior sisters were also stunned by the sight. By some incredible power, he forced the giant stone creature to halt and then retreat. Then, he turned back, smiling at them. "That's right. Sushu asked me to bring you all back safely." Everyone was confused. "Sushu?" He nodded and said, "You all go on ahead. Wait for me outside. I'll come find you in a bit." With that, Yong Ning held out his hand. "Let me borrow your sword for a moment." Instantly, a sword flew from one of the women's sheaths, spun through the air, and landed perfectly in his hand. Catching the blade, he said, "I'll return it shortly." Then, Yong Ning flew off into the distance, leaving everyone staring after him in a daze. He landed on a high cliff, silently observing the monster. From afar, after a moment, he suddenly called out, successfully drawing the monster's attention. It squinted, trying to make out his tiny figure. The moment it identified its target, it struck. It shattered the cliff where he stood. But he had already dodged, leaping to another spot. As he landed below, the monster pursued, raising its hand to obliterate everything. But instead of fleeing, Yong Ning turned back, meeting the giant hand with his own body. He channeled all his power, pressing down on its massive hand. The creature's eyes widened. In a mixture of surprise and terror, from his two small hands, the stone began to fracture. Its entire arm was crushed, leaving only shattered fragments raining to the ground. Staring at its disintegrated arm, the monster's face twisted in panic. It clutched the broken stump, roaring in agony. Yong Ning roared, "Hey, blockhead! Still not giving up?" Hearing this, it whipped its head around to look at him. The rage within it erupted to its peak, its colossal body trembling as if it would tear the entire place apart. But his eyes showed no fear. On the contrary, they burned with fierce determination. He shot forward suddenly, his head slamming into the monsters. A deafening explosion rang out. The surrounding stone pillars came crashing down. Only the area between the two of them remained standing, like a fated dueling ring. Outside, hearing the commotion, Nangguan murmured, "One intense battle." Inside, Yong Ning was still facing the stone golem. With all his strength, he flicked it on the head. The monster began to stagger. Cracks spiderwebbed across its head. A series of cracking sounds rang out. Then, its entire colossal figure collapsed to the ground. Its whole body was obliterated in an instant. From above, countless stone fragments rained down, creating a thick cloud of dust and smoke. The hazy space looked like the aftermath of a great war. Standing on high ground, Yong Ning looked down. He let out a comment as light as the wind. This stone golem was way too brittle. One light tap from a low-level martial skill, and its golden bell shield just shattered. Everything was now quiet, the earlier chaos gone. Seeing that the situation was settled, Yong Ning decided to leave. Outside, everyone was stirring anxiously. "The fighting seems to have stopped. Do you think he's okay? I'll go check on him." "No, it's too dangerous. They said you'd just be getting yourself killed if you go." Suddenly, someone shouted, "Hey, everyone, look!" In the distance, a figure was approaching. Yong Ning landed. He spoke to reassure them. "Everyone, don't be afraid. The stone golem has been defeated. Is anyone hurt?" Nangguan's voice trembled. "We're fine." "You're that strong? Are you really our master?" Suddenly, Luo Schwe walked over and said, "That's right." Hearing her voice, everyone was stunned. Luo Schwe replied, "He is our master." Seeing her, everyone called out, "Senior sister." Nangguan cried out as well, "Senior sister." She threw her arms around her in a tight hug. Seeing this, Luo Schwe smiled and replied, "It's over now. You held out with everyone for so long. You did so well." Nangguan replied, "I thought I'd never see you again, senior sister." Yong Ning watched the scene from a distance, thinking to himself, "What a nice reunion." Then he spoke, "Let's go. I'll take you all home." Luo Schwe was still gently stroking her little sister's head to comfort her. As she walked into the sunset, she thought to herself, "It's really great to have a master." At Wuji Hall, the Sect's grand assembly was about to begin. Yong Ning was casually leaning back, fast asleep. His snores echoed through the hall. The disciples below whispered among themselves, their faces a picture of helplessness. The sect's grand assembly. How can he be sleeping? Even with all the sect's disciples gathered before him, he continued to sleep soundly. Seeing this, the blackbird swooped in from out of nowhere. It kicked him in the head, startling him awake. Had a nice nap? It spread its wings. Its voice was full of displeasure. You sit here for 1 second, and you're already dozing off. Where were you carousing last night? Yong Ning rubbed his eyes. He replied wearily, Sorry about that. I was up all night contemplating the sect's development plan. The bird scoffed, clearly not believing him. Up to no good again, huh? He immediately shot back. No, I was actually working. I spent the whole night going over everyone's data. I was preparing cultivation plans for all of you. In his mind, he recalled the scene of himself carefully reviewing each file. Sushu's file read, Unable to gather chi for extended periods. Simple personality. A total foodie. Nan Yao's file reads, Very agile, but lacks stamina. Mu Qing's file reads, Too much of a loner. Quiet, quite distant from everyone else. And Lei Lei's file has a certain presence, but hates physical contact. She's also way too obsessed with Luo Schwe and is neglecting her own cultivation. Yong Ning rested his head on his hand. He muttered, What a bunch of problem children. No wonder Luo Schwe couldn't find a sect to settle down in for so long. Good thing they ran into me. Just you watch how I'll whip them into shape. Back in the present. He cleared his throat a few times and made his announcement. Now that everyone's here, let's discuss the plan. My plan. He stood up, flicking his sleeves. It's simple. All of you just need to do one thing. And that's to restore this sect to its rightful place as #1 under heaven. Hearing this, everyone was stunned. Sushu, #1 under heaven? He coughed. Okay, maybe that's a bit much for now. Let's try something simpler. Within half a year, 7 of you must pass the true disciple trial. Hunter blurted out, How is that possible? The entrance trial for this sect was already insane. The true disciple trial is probably going to be on hell mode. Luo Schwe also spoke up. For the boundless sect, true disciples are extremely important. The sect's historical records state that when 7 disciples pass the true disciple trial, the sect master will receive a special privilege. The treasure vault of the sect will also be unlocked, granting access to its artifacts. Only by obtaining these treasures can the sect hope to once again become #1 under heaven. Images of the locked treasures appeared. The light of the sect. Sushu glanced at him suspiciously. Let me guess. Once he gets those treasures, Master will use his special privilege to grab them all and run away. Yong Ning immediately shot back. Nonsense. I am a man of responsibility. In short, the true disciple trial is incredibly important to this sect. Luo Schwe sincerely stepped forward. I, Luo Schwe, though unworthy, will give my all to pass the true disciple trial. Lei Lei stared at her senior sister with wide eyes, her gaze sparkling. I must also contribute my strength to the sect. Then she also shouted, Senior sister, I am also willing to join the trial to protect you, if I'm lucky enough to die in your arms. It would be so romantic. Suddenly, all the disciples shouted in unison. We disciples, though unworthy, are willing to give our all to conquer the true disciple trial. Yong Ning nodded with satisfaction. Very good. I will now deploy my super god plan to train you all. Project All-Star Female Disciples. The bird cut in. Yeah, right. You haven't even thought of a way to train them yet. He pretended not to hear. He changed the subject. I heard we're short on funds for the sect gate repairs. I've decided to go down the mountain, find a job, and earn some money. I can't let all of you struggle so much, he declared as the bird fumed. Don't you dare change the subject. Sushu's tone was full of doubt. You're not going to cause some huge mess, are you? Even though we desperately need money for the sect's repairs. Can you really earn any? Nan Yao smiled. Whether he earns any or not doesn't matter. Master's powerful confidence is just so captivating. He said as he walked away. I'm off to work. When I get back, I'll announce the first disciple for the Super God plan. The disciples shouted in unison. Farewell, Sect Master, he replied. See ya. In the sect's prison. Bai Fei's voice echoed from within his cell. Why have you been the one bringing me my meals lately? Where's Yong Ning? Luo Schwe answered coldly. Master went down the mountain to find work. She heard him and sighed in frustration. When men say they're going to work, they're always lying. He's definitely off chasing girls. You people are still so naive. The innocent Luo Schwe asked doubtfully. Is that true? Bai Fei replied as she sketched. You seem very concerned about Yong Ning. Hearing this, she became flustered. I am merely a disciple concerned for her master. And so Bai Fei played along, her tone feigning disappointment. And here I was, thinking of teaching you the art of painting, the kind that would help you easily capture Yong Ning's heart. Hearing the old fox's tempting words, Luo Schwe was swayed for a moment. No, but she quickly snapped back to her senses. I have already decided to dedicate my life to the way of sword. Don't you even think about it. And another thing, if you use your art to bewitch my master, I will make you pay. Seeing this, Bai Fei leaped back 3 steps in fright. What are you doing? I was just kidding. If I really had a technique like that, Yong Ning would have been mine a long time ago. As if you'd even stand a chance. Hearing that, she sheathed her sword. Good. Then she turned and left without another word. Only then did Bai Fei let out a sigh of relief. A jealous woman is a terrifying thing. But I suddenly feel like having you competing with me for Yong Ning actually makes things more exciting. A map appears. The Demon Extermination Pavilion. The place was bustling with people coming and going. Yong Ning stood with his arms crossed, looking every bit the boss. This must be the place. The tavern owner said this is where you can take on demon-slaying quests for money. There aren't many places where you can get rich with your fists. And it's pretty damn crowded. Inside, the hall was packed and incredibly noisy. He looked up at a large board covered in text. Whoa, that's a lot of quests. Spotting Yong Ning, a girl named Xiao Miao waved him over. Hello there. Welcome, sir. My name is Xiao Miao. I'm the receptionist here at the Demon Extermination Pavilion. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask me. Hearing this, Yong Ning walked over. Just tell me straight. The demon-slaying quest with the highest reward. How do I accept it? Surprised, she could only let out an oh. You're a new cultivator, aren't you? First time here? He let out a sheepish laugh. Is it that obvious? At this, Xiao Miao explained. I'm sorry, but the quests with the highest rewards are all hell difficulty demon slayings. They're far too dangerous for a newcomer. You can only start with the unranked quests. They're on the bottom, row over there. Just then, 2 men behind them began to snicker. The guy walks in and immediately asks for the highest paying quest. What a fool who doesn't know his own limits. Those top reward quests are for ancient demons, you know. Even the strongest cultivator in Four Seas City wouldn't dare take one. Is this kid an idiot or just plain crazy? Ignoring them, Yong Ning spoke. Thanks. I'll take a look. Xiao Miao smiled in return. Of course. The man from before shot him a taunting look. Greeting newcomers like him always end up meeting a miserable fate. Over by the quest board, Xiao Miao continued. You've been hesitating for a while now. Are you worried that these unranked quests are too difficult? Don't be afraid. You just have to take that first brave step. You'll soon find that low-level demonic beasts are nothing to be scared of. Quest: 10 pairs of gluttonous demon fangs. Reward: 10 copper coins for a horned goat wolf horn. Quest: 2 soul-devouring carapaces. Reward: 10 copper coins for 1 vicious fishtail. Xiao Miao spoke again, trying to encourage him. Every newcomer has to grow, 1 step at a time. It's normal to feel a little anxious at the start. You just have to be a little brave. One day, you too can become a powerhouse on the demon extermination list. Hearing this, Yong Ning replied, The only reason I'm here is because the rewards for these unranked missions are way too low. It's a complete waste of my precious time. The man from before saw this and spoke up. Come on. The board listed level 1 missions, including eliminate the bloodbaths around Spirit Mountain, 10 silver. Exterminate the school of corpse-eating fish in Mao River, 10 silver. Find a lost ancestral jade pendant, 10 silver. Eliminate the snake swarm in Shi Valley, 10 silver. Exterminate the demon cat that appeared in Li Village, 10 silver. Seeing this, Yong Ning was rather curious. The rewards for level 1 missions are at least acceptable. What are the requirements to accept them? Xiao Miao nonchalantly threw cold water on his hopes. Complete 500 unranked missions. Yong Ning's heart sank. The demon-slaying missions here basically give newcomers no chance to make any real money. I guess I'll check out other places in the city. Maybe the Blacksmith's Guild, or, as he walked and muttered to himself, he suddenly noticed a familiar face. Yong Ning was puzzled. Zhao Shi. From a distance, a figure waved enthusiastically. Sect Master Yi. What a coincidence. So you finally came to the Demon Extermination Pavilion. I've been waiting for you, Yong Ning asked. And you are? In utter disbelief, Zhao Shi replied angrily. We drank together every single day. How could you forget me? Hearing that, he pointed, a look of realization dawning on his face. Oh, I remember now. Your senior brother Zhao Shi, the outer disciple who's been stuck for 5 years, right? He looked utterly defeated. He continued. Of course, that's the kind of thing you'd remember so clearly. So, were you about to leave? Yong Ning replied, dejected. Newbies can only take unranked missions. The pay is way too low, so I was just going to leave. Seeing this, Zhao Shi threw an arm around his shoulder and made a suggestion. If you're really short on cash, I can take you on a level 1 demon slaying mission. But it's a little risky. I just don't know if your heart can handle such a thrilling mission. Yong Ning was curious. We can team up and share a mission? And split the money? Zhao Shi quickly explained. Exactly. This mission to clear out the blood kites in Willow Hill Forest. It's perfect for a newcomer with no real strength. I'll take you on it. However, he received a blunt reply. Not interested. I want to do this one. Zhao Shi's face darkened as he looked at the mission board. Are you crazy? Absolutely not. That's a red-level mission. It's extremely difficult. It has the highest death rate among all level 1 missions. You can't take it. But our hero just gave him a look that said, I don't give a damn. The reward is 1 gold coin. The other level 1 missions pay too little. Zhao Shi was still hesitant. But, on a mission of this difficulty, I'm afraid I won't be able to protect you. But with his overwhelming confidence, Yong Ning reassured him. Don't worry, I've always been a very fast runner. Hearing this, Zhao Shi reluctantly gave in with a sigh. Fine. Just remember, safety first. In the end, the two of them chose the mission. Search and clear Withered Bone Village. 30 level 1 demonic beasts. The mission was located just outside Sihai City. Zhao Shi chatted as they walked. Since this is your first time slaying demons, you probably don't know how dangerous it is. I feel it's my duty to explain it to you clearly, so you don't get yourself killed for nothing. Yong Ning quickly replied, Oh, then I'll have to trouble senior brother Zhao. Holding a record book in his hand, Zhao Shi began to explain. 70% of this world is occupied by demons and monsters, but humanity refuses to just sit back and die. The demon slayers are humanity's resistance. The demons are always trying to turn what's left of the human world into wastelands. But we humans are constantly fighting to reclaim our lost lands. Therefore, the wastelands surrounding human settlements are constantly being retaken by the army or major demon-slaying factions. Sect Master Yi, we demon slayers are mainly responsible for the cleanup work, which is also very dangerous, Zhao Shi said. Remember this. Just follow my lead. Don't run off on your own. It's the only way you won't get yourself killed. Yong Ning quickly assured him. Not a problem. As long as the valuable monsters don't run off, I won't either. Hearing Zhao Shi begin to speak, Sect Master Yi also, but he was cut off before he could finish. Just kidding. Let's go. Withered Frost Village. The wind howled. People bustled about. A guard on watch scanned the area and announced loudly. Danger zone ahead. No entry for anyone who isn't a demon slayer. Soon after, Yong Ning and Zhao Shi approached the entrance. Zhao Shi looked around cautiously. I don't know. Why? But I've got a really bad feeling about this village. Yong Ning, however, was nonchalant. You think so? Zhao Shi quickly added. I heard that quite a few demon slayers have dropped dead suddenly in this village. Despite this, Yong Ning remained perfectly calm. This mission's simple. Kill 30 demon beasts, and we can leave. Hearing him say that, Zhao Shi replied with clear exasperation. Sect Master Yi, you can't underestimate a mission with a dire difficulty rating. If it were simple, they wouldn't have opened it up to so many demon slayers at once. Then, Zhao Shi stared blankly. This is a team mission. The whole point is for everyone to work together when a powerful demon beast shows up. So why are you carrying an iron shovel? Casually slinging it over his shoulder, Yong Ning replied. I saw you all had weapons. I forgot to bring one, so I just grabbed this iron shovel to use for now. Hearing this, Zhao Shi panicked and thought to himself, I never should have brought this clueless guy to such a dangerous place. Zhao Shi struggled to keep up with Yong Ning, shouting, Sect Master Yi, wait for me. He replied, we need to hurry. The sooner we start, the sooner we finish. Zhao Shi panted as he walked. Caution comes first. We're in the desolate city. There's a chance spirit realm level demon beasts could appear here. Remember, if you see a spirit realm beast, you can only run. No hesitation. Hearing this, Yong Ning just grunted non-committally and thought, spirit realm? Even Luo Schwe couldn't beat me. Suddenly, they came upon a leafless, withered tree. Seeing it, Zhao Shi looked around in a panic. What is this? We went the wrong way. Let's get back to the main path, quickly. It's just the two of us here. We'll be screwed if we run into a powerful demon beast. At that, Yong Ning pointed into the distance. Demon beast? You mean that thing? Where he pointed, a wolf with blood-red eyes was growling. At the sight, Zhao Shi's face went pale with fear. We're dead. To think we'd run into the most ferocious beast in this entire place. Don't be scared. The three-eyed azure wolf is fierce, but it's not at the spirit realm yet. It's just really fast. I can still handle it. Just don't you panic. Seeing Zhao Shi trembling in front of him, Yong Ning thought to himself, you're the one who's panicking. Buddy, the demon beast drew closer and closer to the two of them. Zhao Shi bravely brandished his sword. Come on. Just a pup acting like a tiger. He was swiped across the chest for his trouble. He winced in pain. Meanwhile, more wolves were circling, ready to attack. Seeing this, Zhao Shi backed away, but didn't forget to reassure Yong Ning. This is bad. Two more of them showed up. Three-eyed azure wolves coordinating their attack will be extremely dangerous. Sect Master Yi, don't you worry. I'll take care of this. With the shovel in hand, Yong Ning spoke up. I'll take care of it. His face remained calm. He gripped the shovel, channeling his inner energy, then charged forward, aiming for a surprise attack. Brother Long, who had earlier mocked Yong Ning at the Demon Extermination Hall, suddenly appeared, eager to lecture. Rookie, this area is already handled by Brother Long. The woman beside him also spoke. You're panicking over mere low-level demons? So weak. Just watch how us seniors handle it. Seeing them, Yong Ning felt exasperated at running into these two self-righteous fools again. The demons around them snarled furiously. Brother Long's face twisted into a frenzied, savage grin. Then a streak tore across the sky, and birds scattered. The demon wolves were annihilated. Afterward, Brother Long puffed out his chest, acting as if he was the best. A textbook battle. Flawless. Oh, aren't you the one who wanted to take on the advanced demon extermination mission? The little snail? The woman accompanying him gathered their loot, then sneered. Overestimating yourself. How could a weakling like you even think of taking on such a dangerous grade 1 mission? Your lack of strength will only endanger us all. Consider yourself lucky we were here this time. Brother Long chimed in. This kind of hellish battlefield isn't suited for snails. Go home, and be careful out there. Yong Ning felt helpless watching these two arrogant cultivators. Meanwhile, Zhao Shi let out a sigh of relief. Let's go. We shouldn't stay here any longer. With the shovel slung over his shoulder, Yong Ning remained firm. Go. What are you talking about? We're already here. We might as well finish the mission. Let's go. Zhao Shi insisted, confused and terrified. No, this place is too dangerous. Wait for me. Ga. A moment later, at a new location, Zhao Shi looked around and spoke. This isn't good. The fog is too thick. There must be many demons lurking. Quick, we need to go back. Sect Master Yi. Yong Ning, however, had stopped, as if sensing something. At that moment, more wolves appeared. Zhao Shi finally realized the situation. He gasped and shouted, "Oh no!" As the demons lunged, Zhao Shi was still frozen like a deer in headlights. Suddenly, a head was severed. Our Yong Ning had made his move. Zhao Shi was so shocked he couldn't close his mouth. He stammered, "Sect Master Yi," but Yong Ning quickly cut him off. "Don't make a sound." Growls echoed through the mist. The wolves advanced, sharp fangs and dripping slobber, looking truly repulsive. Yong Ning commanded, "Charge!" And then, both sides clashed in a brutal struggle. But swiftly, with the shovel in his hand, Yong Ning decapitated the demons. Once done, he turned to Zhao Shi and said, "I need to speed up. Stay close to me. Don't let yourself get more than 3 meters away." Zhao Shi, still dazed, could only manage a confused, okay. He quickly followed, thinking to himself, how can he use a shovel to perform sword techniques? and be so incredibly fast? Ahead, Yong Ning continually struck down demons. Each move decisive. Not only that, he was as fast as the wind. Behind him, Zhao Shi couldn't help but exclaim, "Holy smokes, what kind of skill is this? Sect Master Yi, haven't you never exterminated demons before? Your combat technique is terrifying. He's not even human." Yong Ning remained unfazed. "It's because my passive skill, knowledge mastery, is maxed out at level 100. But the terms he was using were so strange, it made Zhao Shi wonder. "I don't get it all. What does that mean? Ugh, this is taking too long." He gave a quick order. "Forget it. Still too slow. Stay right here." With that, he shot forward. A flurry of whooshing sounds erupted from within the trees. From the outside, Zhao Shi's head whipped back and forth. "I'm getting dizzy. I can't even see what he's doing." A moment later, Yong Ning emerged with a horde of demonic beasts right on his tail. Seeing the scene, Zhao Shi's hair stood on end. Yong Ning landed lightly. He glanced at the surrounding pack of demonic wolves. Completely unfazed. Not too many, not too few. Add the 3 from before, and that makes exactly 30. Zhao Shi, however, was trembling. But they were completely surrounded. He remained as calm as ever. This just makes things easier. Zhao Shi's face went pale, and he trembled so violently it looked like he was about to wet himself. "Oh crap." Just then, Yong Ning grabbed him by the collar, and with a heave, tossed him straight into the air. A desperate scream echoed through the forest. At the same time, the demonic wolves charged. They lunged ferociously toward their doom. Yong Ning spun his shovel like the Monkey King himself. He pointed, and a massive wave of power appeared. A beam of light shot toward the wolves. They were sliced down one after another. The light flashed across the battlefield. Yong Ning watched impassively as a rain of bodies fell from the sky. Meanwhile, Zhao Shi was in a freefall, paralyzed by fear. Just before he hit the ground, Yong Ning's hand reached out and snatched him by the collar. Yong Ning calmly gave his order. "It's over. Go cut off the wolves' tails. Let's get this done quickly and head back." Kneeling on the ground, Zhao Shi was utterly stunned. It's already over? Sect Master Yi, what was that technique just now?" All those demonic beasts gone in an instant. Before he could finish his sentence, Yong Ning cut him off. "Just a basic sword technique." As Zhao Shi started cutting the wolves' tails, his curiosity got the better of him. A basic sword technique? The most powerful swordsman I've ever seen can only manage some fancy sword flashes at best. When in the world was that? He asked. Yong Ning replied nonchalantly. "Honestly, I was holding back. They were too weak." "Oh, right. I have a question. Demonic beasts and demons. What's the difference?" Zhao Shi answered as he hacked at a wolf's tail. "Demonic beasts haven't awakened their intelligence. They can't speak. Demons can speak our language and even know how to blend in with us. So demons are a lot more dangerous then." Hearing this, he replied, "For the most part, yeah. But some demonic beasts are more powerful than demons. The only real difference is their level of intelligence." "Got it. So after we finish this mission together, can I start taking on my own?" Life wasn't that simple. Zhao Shi stated firmly, "Absolutely not." Hearing this, Yong Ning sighed in disappointment. "It's so hard to make money in this world." Zhao Shi tried to console him. "Sect Master Yi, don't rush it. Take your time. If you need money urgently, you could..." Before he could finish, Yong Ning cut him off. But then, he suddenly sensed something was wrong. "Wait." Just then, 2 people came running from the distance, shouting, "Help! Run! A demon! It's a demon!" Seeing this, Zhao Shi broke out in a cold sweat. Sect Master Yi Wei, but he remained perfectly calm. "It's fine." The threat drew closer. Zhao Shi trembled. "We have to run. My hands are shaking." Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from within the mist. "Brother Long is holding the demon off," the woman cried. "Brother Long can buy us some time. Hurry. Run." But in the next moment, Brother Long was sent flying by the demon. He skidded hard across the ground, eating dirt. The impact was deafening. The demon advanced, its face something straight out of a nightmare. Its body crackled with electricity like a walking, sparking power line. It was a terrifying sight. His face bloodied, Brother Long lay on the ground like a trampled rug. He trembled from head to toe, terrified for his life. Then, Yong Ning's voice cut through the air. "You foolish newbie. Hey, what are you spacing out for? Get moving. The others quickly rushed to his side. Brother Long, are you okay? But he only continued to mutter. Run. The woman beside him sneered. Brother Long, forget about this useless trash. He's probably so scared he can't even move. Suddenly, the demon behind them unleashed a massive blast, the sound like an explosion inside their heads. It was enough to stop your heart. They all scattered in terror. It roared relentlessly, as if it had already had breakfast and lunch, and was now ready for its next meal. The demon slammed its club down, sending everyone fleeing in an even greater panic. The shockwave sent Brother Long collapsing to the ground. At that moment, Yong Ning stepped forward. Seeing him, Brother Long struggled to speak. Newbie, how are you still? Yong Ning didn't bother to answer, simply looking up as the demon attacked. Its massive weapon swung down on him. Yong Ning casually raised a hand to block, and a loud clang rang out. The weapon was sent flying. Everyone who witnessed it was frozen in shock. Then, Yong Ning spoke as if bestowing a great favor. So damn cool. Since you tried to warn a newbie like me to run, I'll help you out. Just this once. The demon stared where its weapon had been, its face a mask of utter bewilderment. A moment later, that confusion turned to roaring fury. It charged forward in a rage. Unfazed, Yong Ning met it head-on barehanded. Power gathered in his fist. With a single punch, he drove it straight through the demon's chest. The onlookers stood there, jaws on the floor, gaping in disbelief. Even the ferocious demon was frozen like a deer in headlights. A massive hole was torn through its torso, as if it were shot by a cannon at point-blank range. And then, Yong Ning leaped cleanly through the opening. An instant later, the demon shattered into 1,000 pieces. Yong Ning stood watching from a distance, looking thoughtful, yet impossibly cool. The woman helping Brother Long stammered in awe. Are all newbies this monstrous these days? Brother Long, I'm sorry. From now on, I want to follow him. Meanwhile, Yong Ning turned and asked casually, Senior Brother Zhao, how much is this demon worth? Though he looked like he'd just woken from a dream, Zhao sure did the math in a flash. At least 1,000 gold coins. Hearing the mention of money, Yong Ning's face lit up. Not bad. That should be enough to cover the Sect's repairs. Zhao sure could only praise him. Sect Master Yi, you're on another level. That was a celestial rank demon, and you killed it in an instant. Just how powerful are you? Without a hint of modesty, Yong Ning replied casually. I'm curious about my own limits, too. I'm hoping an opponent who can actually make me fight seriously will show up soon. Zhao sure was speechless. My God, gods above. Seriously, this guy is unbelievably arrogant. Yong Ning called out as he began to walk away. Let's head back. I'm treating you to a drink tonight. Speaking of which, I haven't seen that bookworm in a while. I wonder if we'll run into him today. Zhao sure never misses a free meal. A man who truly lives to eat. He looks like he just struck gold. As evening fell, the city lights began to glow. The restaurant was quiet, with only a few patrons inside, among them Yong Ning and Zhao Shi. Zhao Shi, already tipsy, asked, It's getting really late. Maybe you should head home early, Sect Master Yi. Yong Ning propped his chin on his hand and replied, You call this late? You've clearly never been a corporate slave. Pulling all-nighters until 4 in the morning. Just then, the restaurant owner spoke up teasingly. Sect Master Yi, you should stop drinking. Someone's here to pick you up. Yong Ning looked bewildered. Someone's here? For me? The owner explained with a cheerful laugh. That's right. Your first disciple, Luo Schwe, came by earlier. She left this communication jade. Said to give her a call if he got too drunk. Once he understood, he grumbled in annoyance. That girl. She worries way too much. The owner urged him on. You should get going. I'm sure they're already at the door. A moment later, Yong Ning was stumbling outside. He steadied himself against the wall, hiccuping as he walked. Su, is it you, Sushu? Sushu greeted him. Master, I had no choice. Eldest sister is completely worn out with Sect business. And the other junior sisters are busy too. And I guess I know you pretty well, Master. Besides, I work in the city, so it was convenient for me to come get you. Yong Ning looked completely dazed, but he still caught the most important part. What kind of work? Sushu didn't hesitate to share. I unload cargo from the merchant ships at the South City docks. My cultivation might not be great, but I'm pretty strong. Yong Ning, still in a haze, was confused. But why? At this, Sushu's expression fell. She explained, her voice trailing off as she remembered. I don't have any talent for cultivation. I can't really help everyone with anything important. So during the day, I come to the city to work and earn a little money for the sect. He immediately shot down her words. Who says you have no talent for cult? Before he could finish, he threw up. Sushu panicked. Master, what should I do? I'll go get you some water. But Yong Ning refused. Don't. Let's just go. Master, let me carry you. No need. Don't have to. He protested, but he ended up on her back anyway. Sushu, to be honest, I'm really happy today. He mumbled, his words slurring together. Finally, a coherent sentence emerged. So, what's on your mind? Tell me something to cheer me up. While she stood there confused, Yong Ning started squirming and demanding. Talk. Come on, talk. Say something. Spit it out. Flustered by his actions, Sushu stammered. I want to, as if he already knew, Yong Ning asked casually. You still want to leave the sect? With a heartbroken expression, Sushu confessed what was in her heart. I'm just not cut out for cultivation. I know I'm stupid, and I just get in everyone's way. It would be better for everyone if I left. Just as she finished speaking, something else caught Yong Ning's attention. He stared at the dangling object. Yong Ning was curious. Huh? On her hip. What is that? She reached out to take the object. She asked, You mean this?